Oh, I see Nora. Oh, I see so many familiar names on here.
Hey, Adrian, how you feeling?
Hey, mm,
That good, huh?
I'm feeling I dose myself up. So I'm just hoping I don't get it because my wife did test positive for flu A this morning.
Oh God, yeah. One of my friends just did too. It's going around really badly.
So, Adrian, are you running this interview high on cough syrup?
Mucinex DM.
Ooh, even better.
So my brain might not function as well. That's why I'm glad I have you guys here to but we will definitely find out about the drone helicopter stuff.
I missed something.
Yeah, I was asking others, season one, episode one, season two, episode one, at the lake. If it
Hmm.
was,
Oh yeah.
if it was the hell, like if they
I
actually
feel
used
like
helicopters.
I feel like I remember hearing it was a drone, but yeah, that's a good
Okay,
question. But I don't know. I wasn't there, so I just don't know.
so many
Yeah,
just amazing behind the scenes stuff that we just don't
Hmm.
have.
drone will be less expensive.
Yes,
Uh,
Is Fan here yet? Is she ready to mute all of us?
yeah.
I'm ready.
Except for Sarah and Adrian? I think you should mute Adrian this time.
That'd be
Yeah, I
great.
think, yeah, I think that'd be great because I re-listened to the interview um, yesterday just to prepare because I didn't want to.
Just
Yep, she's
practicing.
muted.
and
So
I was just
what
practicing. Sorry.
what's funny is that I was saying I listened to the interview yesterday, and the part that I muted her at was like a key part in a story. I forgot about that. It was like right, like it was. It sounded like it was a dramatic pause for a second, but it was no. I muted her from this. So
That's what makes you you, Adrian.
I
There's always
just
a
glad that
story.
everybody can have
yeah,
fun making fun of me,
Uh-huh.
including Sarah.
Uh-huh.
I love that she does that though. Like, she's
Yeah.
Hmm.
so chill.
Are we taking bets that she's going to be wearing a hat?
Hope so, dear God.
There's a hat, no doubt,
Yeah, I'm on the over-under of the hat. I'm yes on the
for
hat.
sure.
I don't know because it's a video interview.
Oh no, I still think it's a hat.
Okay. I don't know.
But I mean, I don't know either, clearly. Do you want to go no hat? This is just
Yeah.
for bragging rights.
And we need
Okay.
somebody on the underside. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Adrian's on the other side.
Yeah. So I think the basic outline I'm going to do is I'm going to ask questions, but then I'm going to turn it over to everybody else to ask their questions. And you can do the hand raise whenever I open it up. And if you want to,
And
and
we're all gonna stay muted until we're called on, right?
I think so for clarity's sake,
Hmm.
because um, I think Sarah's here and she spelled her name wrong. Yeah.
oh God. Hi,
Look,
Sarah.
Walker is here. Sarah's muted. I didn't do it.
It wasn't me.
I'm making
Sarah
you,
muted herself.
yeah,
Sarah, you muted.
ask to unmute. I just asked her to unmute herself.
Come on, you can do it.
Am I
Um,
muted? Was I muted?
You were totally
yes,
muted.
Was I muted
it
that
wasn't
whole
my
time?
fault.
I
Wasn't
muted
my fault.
myself. I did it for you,
You muted
Adrian.
yourself.
Yeah.
All right, the rest of us are going on mute.
So how come I can see some people but not everyone?
Because they don't have their cameras on.
Oh, okay. They're not gonna hang out with us. They're just gonna hang out silently, low key.
Yes.
Someone appeared then, but they switched off really quick. Hi.
And then later on,
I don't.
hopefully.
Can I change my name? I mean, I'm fine with my name being incorrect. Sorry.
Yeah, let's change it.
How do I do that? Rename. Here we go. Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. How are you guys? It's Christmas. Happy Christmas.
Yeah. Same to you.
What
Doing
time is
pretty
it
good.
in the world?
It's 12 for me.
There's something, I have to say, there's something weird going on with my Zoom. It keeps like flashing black every now and then.
Yeah.
And it's never happened to me before, and I don't know why it's happening.
Huh.
I have to pretend I'm in like a rave and it's strobing. How to fix it?
So this has happened before?
No, it's just happened today.
Okay. I wonder if you can exit and then come back.
No, I tried. Like, so before I came on, I opened it and checked like everything was working, and it kept happening.
Oh.
I think maybe my laptop might be old or dying.
Huh. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's served me well so far, but maybe I need a new one. I don't know.
Let's see. Yeah.
It's so cool seeing everyone's name. I want to see people. Why is everyone hiding?
Let's see.
Oh, there's another person. Hello.
Yeah. Everybody can come on if they want. Okay, let's see. Just trying to get this view set up. All right.
How do you see? I'm not good on Zoom. How do you sort gallery? Here we go. Oh, you can.
So
That's fun.
there's a view in the upper right corner that you can change it.
I think I just have the gallery of everyone. It's fine. Oh, that's cool. Now I have Adrienne, massive blown up the speaker.
Oh gosh. Oh.
That's good. That works.
No one needs that on their screen. Thank you again so much for joining us. This is just
Thank you for having me again all these years later.
Yeah. But I actually like get not just the audio interview. We have you actually live, like.
Didn't I do one before? Oh, with Lisa. Yeah, it was different.
Yeah.
It was an interview. Yeah, it wasn't a live. Is this my first live with a video? Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, this is special. Cool.
It is, and I changed it up.
And there's
Because
a cat. We have a cat. No, it's a dog. We have
dog.
a dog with us. This is cool.
I changed it up because normally it's in the past it's all been done with just a couple hosts, and then I put it out. And so this time I was like, no, let's do it live. Let's have everybody.
See, Fan, is that correct? Did I pronounce it correct? Fan is excited about the dog as well.
She's excited that you wore a baseball cap because she could recognize you.
I almost didn't wear one, and I thought it might confuse people, so I put one on.
Yeah, that's the only way that she can recognize you, evidently. Oh, it's great to see everybody. I haven't seen so many people in a while.
I don't know if there's people that I haven't met at the cons, or like if it's people that went to the cons. I don't know.
I do know that there's a variety on here. You might not see them that have not been to the convention. So hopefully in a little bit they will jump on and ask some questions.
So everyone's showing their dogs now. This is the best. My dog is downstairs.
All right, so let me just jump in. I'm going to skip several questions because,
Oh, there's a chat. Sorry, I'm learning so much
yes,
in the chat. Okay. We met in August at Witch Farm. Awesome. Let me figure out this chat thing. Here we go. Okay. The baseball guy. Okay, I'm in. I can see the chat now. I can see everyone. I can see questions. This is good. Let's do it.
all right. So, first, it's been over 3 years since the highest and the lowest of lows with Warrior Nun. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience and when you realized how huge the online movement was to save the show?
I mean, it kind of crept up on us. I remember, I think after season 1, I noticed it like really getting momentum. And I remember the main thing I remember is there were people that were like so invested, but then there were also people that were like, I'm not going to invest in this. They're going to betray us. Like they always do. And that's what I noticed. And that's when I kind of started engaging. Um, and it was just really cool to see so many people, and but mostly like the international sense of it, the fact that it was from all over the world. Like it tapped into something so universal, um, for so many people from so many different like cultures and faiths and racially, and like there was this kind of common thread that they were really drawn to with it, with the characters, with the hero. And I think that's what like great storytelling does. And that's kind of what that's what I love about it, I think.
And so, because that's how I got into Warrior Nun was before season 2.
Yeah.
All this thing about how it was like going to be like queer baiting. And so I was looking it up and I was like,
Yeah.
huh, well, I'm going to watch and see if they actually will do
I mean,
it. And then,
I'd watch the 100 and I'd watch the reaction to what happened. And I think Lexa is one of the greatest characters ever written for TV. Like I really do to this day. Um, I was so like, I mean, I don't want to come down hard on the 100 because like I did like that show. I remember I didn't watch the first season of it. And I got into it. I was sick and I had a cold and I was laying on the couch and it was for some reason in England they were playing like I don't know 5 episodes one after another, and I started watching it, and I think it was season 2 that I got into it, and then like it was there kind of having these two young, I'm talking about the 100, not Warrior Nun now, but having these two young women as like the tribal leaders was what made me go, wow, we don't really do this. And then they fall in love, and it was like we definitely don't do this. You know what I mean? It was very cool. And then I saw the fallout after it, and so when we were doing Warrior Nun, and obviously like Simon show, but he assembled like such a great team, around him, and from day one, he was aware of that, and he never wanted to do that. But it was something that I was really passionate about. Like we all know the trope. We like, and not just like queer women. Women die all the time in stories. Like that's their purpose. They die to serve a narrative, to serve a plot point. You know what I mean? It is changing, but I feel like it gets better and then it goes backwards, and then it's almost like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And I don't know, like I don't know what's going to come out this year in the TV world, but I feel like we're in a 1 step back moment right now. I don't know if you guys feel the same, but as a director that's like going out there and doing meetings and stuff, I kind of felt like we'd got to a place where female leads were really championed and queer leads were really championed, and like people were excited about that. But I feel like there's a bit of a pushback now. So that's something we've got to keep fighting against, I guess.
Is the pushback more of, in your opinion, we just don't have the money for that. We'd rather make it more mainstream.
This is the really sad part about it. Like, I think what I'm talking about also speaks to like a much, I'm going to get really serious about the industry now, but it's like a much broader problem in the industry, in that when like the streamers initially, they brought so much like positivity and they brought like so many more shows. But post kind of COVID, that seems to have like shut down a little bit. And what I think, and you only have to look on, you know, if you look on, I don't really go on X anymore, but if you look on Instagram, and I've never used TikTok. Well, apparently I have to get a TikTok because everyone uses TikTok. So the rhetoric amongst filmmakers and storytellers is that it's a real struggle right now. And it's mostly like a real struggle to tell indie stories and character driven stories. And what we're seeing is, you know, a handful of people hold all the power, and all the money, and that determines what gets made. And I think when so few people hold that much power, it's going to limit the stories you get, which has always been a problem anyway. You know, and we talk about like what we see in front of the camera is very affected by what's behind the camera as well. Because sometimes you can have a show which is considered diverse and it's got like a great diverse cast, but behind the camera is still kind of very white, straight, and male. And I think we'll struggle to change what's in front of the camera until like we change what's behind the camera as well. And then when you step back beyond that, it's like, where's the money coming from? Who's choosing the stories we get to tell? But I don't want to like be down about it, because what I'm witnessing, and I've been in the industry over 20 years. I'm kind of old now. But like what I'm seeing when I look on social media is these young creatives that are literally getting their phone and they're making really sick content. And they know how to use, you know, Avid and Final Cut Pro, and they know how to like stick a lens on their iPhone, and they know how to put an ND filter on it, and they know how to edit it, and they know how to like color grade, and they do things that like back when I started, hardly anyone knew how to do. Like they were very specialized things. And these are kids with like one computer, one phone, gonna go out and shoot a little thing with like 3 of my friends, you know what I mean? And they're making really high quality content. And so what I think I'm hoping, and a lot of other people like me in the industry are hoping, is that we may have like a resurgence of like grassroots storytelling, where people go, okay, this isn't working for me. Like no one's giving me any money, so I'm going to go and do it my way. Do you know what I mean? And it's hard, because what comes from that is the kind of stories you're able to make are limited financially. So you have to get really creative. And, you know, like right now, I have 2 films in development. And one is kind of quite a decent size budget, and one is much smaller. And if I don't get that funding, those films will kind of sit there for a while. Whereas I have another film that I just started writing that I can go and shoot on the streets of London with my friends in like 20 days. So yeah, what I'm hoping is that there will be this resurgence of indie filmmakers. And it's a way, I feel like I'm not talking about Warrior Nun, but it's looking at, I've kind of done this, because since Warrior Nun, I haven't done much TV work. I've shifted to focus on my own projects. In a way that like I've wanted to for years and I've put it off. And I just kind of felt like I got to a place where there was always so many limitations when you're working for like a big, huge company, you know what I mean? And you have 5 execs minimum, if not 10, telling you this works, this, you know, change it, you know, and sometimes those execs fight over stuff as well. But yeah, I've been doing like this deep dive into like indie filmmaking, which I did at the beginning of my career. Then I went off and worked in TV, and I did all these kind of cool shows, and some were quite high end shows. And I got really spoiled because like when I do those shows, I have a DP and I have an editor and I have all these people and all these assistants. And it's kind of this moment where I went, okay, I'm kind of back at the beginning again, but not with short films, with feature films and TV shows. And what is really good about my journey, and I'm bringing this back to Warrior Nun now, is the work I've done over those years has built an audience. You know, it might not be a massive audience, but it's a loyal audience, and it's an audience that kind of comes back. You know, a lot of the Warrior Nun people have also watched Discovery of Witches. And, you know, a lot of people that watched The Crash that I did years ago in England have also watched Warrior Nun. And so it's knowing that audience is there and they want the material. And it's kind of working out ways that you can make stuff and give it directly to them. And I can't stress this enough, because I understand why people pay their $10 and then they go onto Netflix and then they have like a massive library of things, right? But to see the content you want to see, like you have to support the art you want to see, basically. And that's what I think a lot of people that aren't like super into film or super into, you know, their characters and their kind of fandoms, they don't always realize that. Like the average person doesn't realize that. So it's kind of, and it's the same in music. Like, I don't know, I feel like our whole world is being bought by businessmen, and it's sad. And there's a space for that. Obviously, that's always going to exist. But I think we've really got to kind of push back. Like my two favorite films this year so far have been Rental Family. I don't know if you've seen it yet, with Brendan Fraser. Amazing. Like, it's honestly, I cried. I laughed, I cried like 4 times. It's so beautiful. And then the other one, the reason I'm bringing it up, is a little indie film called Left-Handed Girl. Any of you heard of it? And it was shot on an iPhone. And it was shot like mainly with available light. And it's this super cool like little indie movie about this I think it's Taiwanese, this family, like a mom and 2 daughters, and it's so charming and clever and kind of human. And so when I see things like that, I go, we've got no excuse, we can do this, let's figure out how to do this. You know, like, so yeah, it's tough. I'm trying to think of shows that I've loved past year or so, and I'm struggling to think of something that, I don't know if you guys, I keep hearing, is it Pluribus, the new, I keep hearing that's great. That's a huge Apple show, you know what I mean? Like, so, and that's the Breaking Bad guy.
I haven't watched that.
No,
I did watch Severance.
You watched what?
Severance on Apple.
Oh, Severance. Is that, yeah, I've heard that's really good, actually.
Yeah, it's a mind trip, but it's good. Yeah, it's
Does
worth.
It have like a good female leads?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think she is. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I mean, it's basically like co-lead in a sense. But as far as, you know, the kick-ass women shows that we love, no.
I don't know what's happened to us. We've kind of gone at the moment. Like, it's really funny because a friend texted me literally a couple of days ago, and we were talking about shows, and she just said, yeah, like I just really miss shows like with female leads like Xena. And I would admit I didn't watch Xena growing up. I was like more Buffy, but I was like, oh man, what I would give to like reboot something like Xena, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't understand why we're not doing it. I mean, we had, okay, I'll give Marvel props for Florence Pugh becoming like the big, huge, you know, the latest, was it Thunderbolts? Like the new Marvel team, who I think is amazing, and kind of stands for all the right things. But I don't know, like, you guys tell me who's where do we have any female superheroes at the moment? Do we have any like? I saw Hedda. That was cool. It was a female director. It was Tessa Thompson. Um, and it's kind of like, you know, a reboot of an old Ibsen play. But
The new Supergirl trailer looks really good.
I haven't seen it. Is it good?
It looks good.
I mean, that's great. But that's the thing again, like that's awesome that they're doing that, but that's a massive Hollywood popcorn movie.
It is with a
And
big name.
yeah, and it's you're only going to get a certain kind of voice behind it. And it's like, how do we, like, I know so many awesome female directors and female writers that are trying to get things made, and they're trying and it's like, and they won't give up. But it just seems so hard. But I do think, like, I don't know how much people outside the industry know this. Like, it's a brutal time right now in the industry because we have AI. We have like the streamers are kind of controlling everything. You know about like the whole bidding war for Warner Brothers. I don't know if you know about this. So Netflix trying to buy it. And I think it's just in a really like delicate place of turmoil. But I feel like my entire my entire career in the industry, there's always something about to destroy it. You know, I always hear like every few years, film is dead, but then people make films, and then there's films people love. I don't think people that love film and stories, I don't think they'll ever die. I think they will always fight to create them. But I do think what is difficult now is the financial side of it, in that the internet and YouTube and Instagram, and you know, you can go on. I find it really funny how you go, oh, I don't know if I've got like 90 minutes, 2 hours to watch a movie, but then you go on Instagram and you'll watch like 100 little clips for 2 hours, and I'm guilty of it as well. And then I'm like, oh, my brain is ruined. But yeah, I think there's so much free content, and there has to be, because it's so competitive that people are making things for free to get, you know, followers, whatever. But then that limits, like, I don't know how committed people are to buying movies and shows outside of the streamers. You know what I mean? Because I have them all, and I have them all mostly for work. But for the first time in my life last year, I cancelled a bunch of them. And then about 3 months later, I had to reinstall a few because I had to watch certain things for work and for meetings. and now I seem to just cancel them. And then I get a call from my agent. I'm like, oh, I need to watch that. So then I get it again, and then I cancel it again because I'm like, and there's so few things that I am excited about watching. I've been watching lots of indie film.
And so how do you find these indie films that
I think probably just through social media and word of mouth, really. And like I kind of, and this is important for you guys, and you probably do it anyway. I set up my social media and I'm careful about what I follow. So when I kind of like stepped away from directing TV shows for a while, and I wrote my film, and I'm now like trying to make this film, I started following lots of indie filmmaker stuff on Instagram, which I didn't really do. And now like my algorithm is like indie film. And I've actually gotten like loads from it, which has been really cool. So yeah, I kind of set up my social media to alert me about things that I will like. And also, and this is very important for you guys, things that are healthy for you. Things that are good for you and are going to make you feel happy. Find those things and follow those things. And you know, if something that you're following is making you feel like things are impossible, or you can't achieve what you want to achieve, like unfollow that stuff. Because, and you guys all know this, like it's so bad for our brains, and we don't live how we used to live, and it is changing our brains and it's conditioning us. And so like limit your time on there, and when you do go on there, you know, have some fun stuff and then have some stuff you want to learn about. So you want to learn about filmmaking, follow some indie filmmakers because they'll tell you stuff. Like I recently, like we're talking like 3 days ago. I don't know her name, so I can't give her a shout out because, you know, you just see something cool and you hit follow. I just followed this cinematographer and she's doing like every video is like a play-by-play. And I haven't seen this film, this show, but everyone's talking about it. You guys might know more than me, but I keep hearing about Heated Rivalry. Does anyone know what this is?
Yeah.
Heated Rivalry apparently is taking the world by storm, the straight world.
Yeah.
And this very cool cinematographer is basically like analyzing scenes and looking at how it's shot and you know, and I was like, oh wow, she's doing a really good job. And like, you know, the last video I watched, she was talking about the fact that they shot on anamorphic lenses and how they were doing the lighting and stuff. And I've come across quite a few indie filmmakers talking about it. And also like people talking about why it's blown up and why, because I know there was I do want to talk about Warrior Nun, but I heard, was there a movie called Breaking the Ice or something that was about two girls falling in love? Does anyone know about this? It was a hockey movie.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
I know it because it's from my country, but I don't think they're entirely comparable, honestly.
Okay, I didn't see it. I mean, I think I've seen a trailer or something, but I came across a video where people were discussing why Heated Rivalry blew up, especially amongst women and especially amongst straight women. Whereas like the equivalent, if it was two women, might not be so successful. So I like, for me, these are really important things, like, because we all want to tell stories, we all want to make art, but the bottom line is it has to be art that people come to see. Does that make sense? And so yeah, like I'm interested in this show because I'm not sure if it's been released in England yet, but everyone in America and Canada was just like, in my feed was just like, bah, 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 bah. And I was like, what is this show? And I think it's a small show. Like it's not an expensive show, I think. And I keep seeing like memes that say things like, who knew all we needed was a gay hockey movie to bring people together at Christmas with all the bad stuff going on in the world. And I'm like, this is good. And like, yeah, but you know, I think what's interesting about the show from the clips that I've seen, like it presents masculinity in a really different way, which again, we really need. So yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, I don't know, like that, like that's me worrying on things.
Well, before that, I've got to circle back around because
Yeah,
someone
I mean,
will
it's all
kill me.
connected.
Yeah. Okay, so you're working on what now?
I'm juggling so many things. So I have one indie film called Tiamo, and it's about four friends. They reunite on a trip to Spain. And it's very character driven, it's very human. And that has a script for that. I'm doing lots of meetings for that. Like it has most of the cast attached tentatively. Amazing cast that you guys would love. Trust me. But yeah, it's difficult. It's proving really difficult to get the funding to make it. And I haven't put it into like the public sphere yet. Like I'm just having meetings with production companies and stuff, and you know, and funding bodies, and seeing, you know, who's interested and who might want to, you know, contribute to it. Eventually, I think I will open it up to the public. Then I have another film, which is a amazing true story. It's funny. I was literally chatting to the producer this morning. I was like, are we talking about this? Should I talk about this? And she was like, yeah, you can talk about it a little bit. So it's a period costume drama, true story about a bunch of amazing women who pretty much like fought for women's rights in Britain, to the point where like they changed the laws. There was a riot. They're pre-suffragettes. They kind of helped lead to the suffragette movement. And there's also kind of a queer like love story there as well, and it's amazing. And we're in like, for that I didn't write that one. I was approached by an awesome writer, Mary Claire, who'd seen Warrior Nun and Discovery of Witches and was like, I need to meet Sarah Walker. And I read her script and I thought it was great. And we did that thing. We did that thing of like, my agent was like, do you want to read this script? And I was really rubbish. I was like, I'm really busy with my own script. And eventually I was like, yeah, let me read it. And I read it. And yeah, like it was just brilliantly written, very classic storytelling. So we did a meeting and got very excited about the whole thing. And yes, so now we're working together. And so with that, we're kind of going out to cast now, but that's a big movie. Like that's a tough movie to make, and we need to attach big names basically to get that off the ground. It's not something, because of the period costume element, you know, and the sets and the production design. And then I have, and I don't really mention this because it came, so, and this is kind of cool. I have a little short film that I'm making, and this has kind of come about from everything, kind of like all the content I've been consuming, and all these little indie filmmakers that I've been watching, like you know, on the internet, since I've shifted kind of more towards indie film again. So it's like a 10-minute short. It's a love story. It's about kind of about dating, but the way I've written it in a way, I had the whole idea. I had to do my accounts, and no one is a fan of doing their accounts, right? So I'm sat doing my accounts. It takes me at least a day, or if not two, and my brain's just like accounts. So my brain starts being really creative suddenly and just comes up with this idea in 10 minutes. So I wrote this cool little love story, and it's finished, and it's about to go out to actors. And we're gonna try and make it like for as little money as possible, and it's total like before sunrise vibes. And there may be some Warrior Nun alumni showing up in it, hopefully. Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, definitely I want them to if they want to. One of them has it, one of them is waiting for it. But yeah, and it has like, it has queer characters. It's really just kind of, it's kind of a rom-com with depth. But I've written it in a way that it would go to short film festivals. But once it had done that, I've written it in a way that I'm kind of looking at how people are consuming content, and people are consuming shorter and shorter content. Like some people will sit down and watch a film or watch 2 episodes or something, but a lot of people every day at work, they just go on their phone and watch a thing. I don't know if you guys know about this thing called vertical dramas. Okay, this is a thing. This is massive. Okay, so I don't know how many of you are into filmmaking or just Warrior Nun or both. So people are now making these things called vertical dramas. So your phone, like, because it's so movies like play like that, right?
Yeah.
But verticals play like that. You get what I mean? So
Yeah.
they're shooting them in portrait, not landscape, and they're very, very cheaply made. And in America, I think they weren't covered by SAG, which meant that the cost could be super low. But I think SAG are now going to get involved because people were being exploited or whatever. But apparently they I think there's a website where there's a bunch of websites where they air, and I think they're quite big in Asia. Like I think kind of that's where they started kind of coming out, and they're like 2 minutes. And then like loads of episodes. So it's a long story, but it's like 2 minutes a day comes out. So I was looking at with the short how I've written it in a way that it can come out in segments. So each day, like a kind of an act will be released. So you're at work, you can just take 2 minutes to be like, and the reason I'm talking about, because it belongs to, it's part of a bigger journey in that it's still the same thing where I want to get representation out there. And I want to, have female leads, and I want to have queer characters, and I want to have like people of color, and, and be telling their stories, even in like 2-minute little micro dramas. So that you're at work, you should lunch hour, you're going to eat your sandwich, and you're going to watch oh my goodness, what happened today? Oh my God, he kissed that person and this is bad. And now she's got over there. You know what I mean? And each day and kind of just looking at different ways of delivering story. So that when you put it all together, you can watch it as a whole, but you can also watch it in these bits instead of just watching something that doesn't really give you anything. You know, when you just, I don't know how many of you doom scroll. Do you doom scroll? I'm assuming all of you. We all doom scroll, right? It's terrible. So yeah, I've purposely written the short in that way. And I'm probably going to do like a small crowdfunder for it. Everyone involved, I think, is going to work on it for pretty much nothing just because they wouldn't be part of it. And that's another part of the conversation I'm having, like where even though the industry is not in a great place, all the people I know that care about art and stories and representation, you know, like for my film Tiamo, last year after I finished my first draft, I called a bunch of actor friends and I said, hey, like, you know, none of us are doing anything. We're all kind of a bit disillusioned by the industry. Do you want to come do a read through? And everyone was like, yeah, absolutely. And like the actors that showed up to do a read through of my script, amazing actors, you know, like Mina Rayan, Warrior Nun, she came. She's one of them that you guys know. And she was brilliant and she was funny and she played a very different part to what she played in Warrior Nun. So like there is a real appetite for people that love stories and storytelling. They want to make these things, but then it's like it's our duty to make sure they get paid, you know what I mean, and not exploited, because there is money. It just goes to very specific things, like, but then you look at the big movies at the moment, like a lot of them. There was one movie I didn't mention that I thought was brilliant. Okay, I loved, and do you guys watch Sinners? Did anyone see? Wasn't Sinners amazing? Like Sinners was just so cool. I thought that movie was brilliant. Like I loved that movie, and that's an example of a movie that, you know, was made for a certain amount but has blown up at the box office. It had an audience that wanted it, that loved it, that went to see it again and again and again. And then there's some movies with like huge stars that has just died at the box office. No one went. There was no audience for that movie. So I think it's really interesting, like what audiences will show up for you. Like I want to kind of, I know I'm the one talking, but I want to kind of ask you, do you guys go to the movies or do you just watch Netflix? I see a lot of nods. I can't hear people, but I see nods. We get a thumbs up for people that go to the, like, would you, if you would go to see an indie film at the cinema, like a low kind of small budget indie film, give me the thumbs up. And people that don't have their cameras on, send me a thumbs up in the chat. Okay.
Now, when you say, like, are you talking about like indie film, like lesbian content?
Like indie film, like Left-Handed Girl indie film. Like, I'm trying to think of the last indie film I watched. I love indie film. I watched so much indie film. Okay, like I didn't go to the cinema to see it, but I because every time I checked, the timings and my work didn't align. For example, there was a movie called Sorry Baby that I really wanted. It was a Sundance movie, and I really wanted to see it. Do any of you heard of it? It's quite a heavy movie. It's like dark comedy, and I would have paid to go to the cinema to see that movie, even though like hardly anyone here has heard of it. I saw the trailer. I was like, this is a cool Sundance film. I want it. It's a female director, female writer director. She's also in it. It's kind of it's about like traumatic assault, but funny. If that makes sense. So like that will make me go to the movie to see it. Whereas I don't want to say movies and offend people, but like there's a lot of big movies that I sometimes get invited to see because of my job and because I'm a member of BAFTA. So I'll get invited to see movies that I will go, like if I get the invite, I'll go and see that movie out of curiosity, but I wouldn't pay to go and see that movie. But I would pay to go see Left-Handed Girl, and I would pay to see Sorry Baby, and I would pay to see like I'm throwing out old movies, but like Before Sunrise, that in its day, that was a tiny little. I would go see that movie. Rental Family, I would have paid to see that movie. What else have I seen recently? I don't know.
I
But
think people
so
still go. I think they're just, I don't know if they're only including like maybe way more selective, like
yeah,
since the pandemic, you know?
I don't know what the age range on here is, but I wonder how much young people go to the cinemas now.
That I do think is a
It's a problem.
difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I have a niece who's like 20, and I was asking her, this was interesting. What do you watch? And she's like, nothing. Instagram, TikTok,
Mhm.
YouTube. They all watch YouTube. And but like if I make a movie, I put it on YouTube. That doesn't.
Yeah.
And it's and I know I'm not saying it because I want money. I'm saying it like I want enough money to be able to make another movie, and just like live as a filmmaker. You know what I mean? I've never had any desire to be a millionaire whatsoever. I just want to make.
Well, they didn't grow up going to the movies. I think that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
We folks of a certain generation grew up where the option was you went to the movie and maybe it came out on video like 6 months later.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to see something, you had a certain window within which to go see it in the theater, and that was it.
Yeah.
So you had to go and you wanted to go, and it was an event, right?
Yeah. You went with
So
your friends.
yes, exactly. You went with your friends, and and then even leading up to the pandemic, right? I mean, things were coming out faster on video, but you still went to the movies for things you want to see. And then the pandemic hit, and we all got used to seeing things at home. And so I think now, folks that still, most people that grew up going to the movies, like going to the movies, I think are just more selective about what they go see. And then, but the younger generation, they don't have that same perspective. They don't have that same history.
I will ask one question. I found this fascinating. So she didn't really watch anything. There was one show, and I said the name of the show because I'd heard young people watch it, and she lit up. And she, oh my god, yes, I watched every episode, and I was like, what? But I was also like, because I'm talking a lot about the cinema because I've been doing a lot of work in film lately. But like, obviously, your TV show is not TV series is Warrior Nun, and I love TV, and that's not going to be in the cinema. But then it's like I think when you're talking about indie film, part of the way that a film makes money is the cinema, whereas TV they make it through whether it's the BBC or Netflix. But it's like the equivalent of that is if a TV show was streamed directly to its audience via the internet, because we have the means to do that now. Like I could make a TV show and put it on Vimeo for you guys, but it's like, are people going to pay to see that show, or are they just going to pay for a subscription to Netflix? You know what I mean? And it's like, do we need to get that show onto Netflix for people to watch it? So the show that my niece loved was obsessive. Did anyone watch The Summer I Turned Pretty? Was this yeah? No? Did anyone was it? Did we
There's
like
some
it?
people shaking their head.
Yeah, I mean, I watched one season because I kept hearing like when the finale happened and everyone was flipping out. I was like, "What is this show?" So I wanted to see, and I can see it's like Dawson's Creek vibes. It was cute, it was cool, but I found it interesting that was the only show that broke through for her generation. And I said, "Do you watch it downstairs, like with your parents on TV?" And she was like, "No, I get my laptop or my iPad and I watch it with my sister. We go into our room together and we watch, get some popcorn, and that's our thing." And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. So, yeah.
We grew up with one TV in the house. Robin, yeah. Sarah, were you grew up with one TV in the
yeah, I
house?
think we had one.
Yeah.
True.
So, with my niece, she getting my driver's license, like it was like, I mean, at 15, right when I turned 15, got a permit, like get my driver's license. My niece, she didn't get it till 18. My cousins at like 17, they didn't care because they had access to the world through their phone.
Yeah, it's true.
And I just couldn't wrap my head around that. I still have a hard
In
time.
terms of, so the content you guys watch, so obviously you all loved Warrior Nun, right? We all want Warrior Nun to come back someday. And I really hope it does come back someday. And if it does, I'm so there for it. And like, just to like bring it back to Warrior Nun for a little bit, like knowing I was doing this made me think a lot about Warrior Nun. And I did think like it's so sad because I made so many friends for life off that show. And even like a lot of the crew that are still in Spain that I haven't seen because I've been in London, they've been in Spain. Like my feature film, like I want Barbara, the designer, to design it. I want Christina to, because my film is set in Spain, by the way, and they go surfing. I want Christina to do the costumes. I want Barbara. You know, I want to hire all the Warrior Nun crew to shoot that film. And I guess part of the reason I had the idea for the film 10 years ago, but shooting 2 summers in Spain with the Warrior Nun crew and going to all the places that I did, I was kind of tweaking my script constantly. Oh, you can do that here, we can do that here, you know what I mean? And that crew member can do this. And but yeah, so like I know that everyone on that show, it really was like a different experience. The fact that we're all in touch. You know, I've spoken to kind of all the Warrior Nun a couple of the Warrior Nun producers about my film. And they kind of want to help any way they can, the Spanish ones and the Canadian and the American ones. So yeah, and I see Mina and Christina a lot. I know you guys probably want to talk about that. I haven't seen Elva forever. She's off in Hollywood. But I've seen at the con as well. I saw Lorena as well. And Tori I haven't seen for a while because she's in America. But like there's a lot of love there. And both Miss Mina and Christina are like really, you know, advocates for indie film and indie storytelling. And we often like meet up and talk about ideas and what we want to do. And I think Christina just had a premiere for a film in Finland. And yeah, Mina and I wanted to go, like, and we ended up we couldn't go, but we wanted to go, like, and I was very excited for that for her. So
There was at least one Warrior Nun band that got to go.
yeah,
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Is it someone here today?
Um,
Really? That's so cool.
I don't know if she's here or not.
Yeah, I mean, Christina's done some cool work since Warrior Nun. I don't think a lot of it's come out yet, but she's got some good stuff coming out. Actually, Mina did an awesome thing as well, which I probably can't talk about yet. But yeah, Mina did me and Mina took a trip to Italy together, and she was working. I was just bumming around and hanging out. But oh yeah, I forgot about that. That was
okay. So there's a lot of people here that did not go to Witchbomb and don't know that story. Could you talk about your experience?
I did have a moment. I mean, like, let me figure out. So Mina had to go do a thing. She had to do a work thing, and she went off to Italy. And she called me up. And she's like, "Have you ever been to Italy?" And I'm like, I hadn't. I'd been to Venice. I shot Discovery of Witches in Venice, and then I did a writers' retreat the year before in a place near kind of Verona. But I was like, I've not really been much, no, and I'd not been to Rome. And I was like, I really want to go to Rome. And she was like, "Do you want to come?" And I was like, "I would love to come." I was like, "Let's go, let's go, let's go." So we go, and she's off doing work. So I'm in Rome on my own, wandering around Rome. It's so hot. It was crazy. It was like 40 degrees, but it's Rome, so it's beautiful. Who cares? And then she does all her work, and she's finished. And then we're gonna meet up and hang out for a few days. And we're staying in different places at this point. And I'm like, I'll meet you at the Vatican. Like literally, we're gonna go. That's it, the Sistine Chapel. Yeah, so we're gonna go to the Sistine Chapel, and I've got us tickets and everything, and we're heading there. And it's so funny. I'm on the tube, and I just like see nuns, and they're warrior nuns, and I'm like taking a photo. I'm sending it to her, and I was like, if you think about it, this is so meta and crazy. Like we didn't even know each other, and we met on Warrior Nun season 2. And I'm like, and now we're going to the Vatican and we're riding on the metro with nuns. And I'm like, with a warrior nun. And it was just so funny. And I remember she forgot something and she was late.
Her passport. Her
Yeah.
passport.
But basically, so we get there, I'm in the line and there's so many people. And I'm getting closer and closer to the entrance. And I remember just saying, I might have to go in without you. But I sent the ticket. I'm like, here's your ticket. And then I just texted her. Like, I got to the front line and I was like, I'm sorry, they're making me enter. And I was like, just find me inside. And I was like, and if you can't find me, like, I was like, in this life or the next, texting her. And she found me about 2 hours later. It was very funny. But yeah, so it's kind of cool. Like when you do a job and you meet people that you're really aligned with, that you're aligned with the storytellers, but you're aligned with like your values and things you care about and what goes on in the world, and then you want to make cool art together. But that's what I would say. Like I've been talking about film, but like film, TV, series, whatever. Like one of the biggest things you can do is just find your people. I was thinking about making this short that I'm going to make in the new year. And I was like making a list of what I need, but keeping it really guerrilla. And I saw an interview the other day, literally on Instagram, and it was a filmmaker saying, get 5 people, go shoot your film. And I was making this list and I was like, I need this thing called DIT, which is it helps process you have monitors and what's coming through the camera goes to the monitors and they can like look at the LUT and the grade and how the picture looks. And I was like, oh man, I need DIT. Who can I get to do DIT? What will that cost me? And then I thought about my short films that I made that got me into this industry, that started my whole career. And I was like, you didn't have DIT on your short films. You had one guy with a camera and a focus pull. That was it. One guy on sound. And like, yeah, my short films are clunky and lo-fi, but it's more because I didn't have experience. You know what I mean? It's not because, and it's like, you don't need DIT. Like, just go shoot it with your friends, kind of thing. So it's looking at ways. I think as you get older and you're in the industry longer, you get told what you can do and what the rules are. When you were 20 years old and you want to make a short film, you don't know what those rules are. You just go make it. And like I don't know, like if you guys are here like to be aspiring filmmakers or for Warrior Nun specifically, but like one of the main things I would say to you, because I know some of you want to make films and TV, is you can go out and shoot your stuff. The big thing to get right is the sound. Because if your picture is a little bit ropey, you can fix that. And you can like in post, even with things like VCS, is it VSCO? The app. You guys know this app? No one knows what VSCO is? Okay, you guys can download this app. It's free. I think you can pay a subscription if you want like better tools, but it's how you make your photos look cool. It's color grading. And it has like, when I say filters, I don't mean filters that give you like rabbit ears or make you look like a Victoria's Secret model that you don't know. I don't mean those filters. I mean they basically change the color palette and the amount of grain and stuff in your picture. So you can make your pictures look really, you learn basic lighting, you make your pictures look really cool. You can do the same with your videos. And so what I would say is like, but you can't fix sound. You have to get good sound. And a lot of indie stuff and a lot of like new filmmakers fall down because they don't get a really good sound recordist. The rest is like, and if you think about, I mean, I'm sure you guys watch, because I watch a lot of crap on the internet. Like I have guilty pleasures that you guys would be surprised. Like I've watched so many, and sometimes I watch things that are so lo-fi, but because the story, or because the story is engaging, or they're showing me characters that I don't see often, I'll watch it. And if the sound is decent, you'll get into it. The camera work can be a bit clunky, but
I mean, isn't that something that, if your sound is off, you're automatically disqualified for um,
no, you can fix a lot.
festivals and stuff?
No, you can fix a lot, and you can do like, I think there's a thing called ADR, but I hate it. The big movies do it on everything. I always try to use real sound because I think it's sound. I think that the actor's performance is different. But again, it's like this is the difference. There's so many different kinds of filmmaking. Like when you look at something like, and I'm bringing it up again as an example, but like Left-Handed Girl, it's all on location. And a lot of like Shane Meadows, who made This Is England. I don't know if you know his work. Like a lot of his, it's all on location, and you get an authenticity that you don't often get like in a set. And I think like I've been on shows where the sound's not been great, and we're like, oh, we'll ADR it, and then we go in the studio and the actor re-records the voice, and and even the best act, like if it's a really performance driven scene that's emotive, it's really hard to recapture the tone that they have in the original scene. If it's just like, oh, I'm going to catch the bus, bye, you get away with it. But if it's like, you kill my father, then it's much better in the actual scene, So, yeah. But ask me more about Warrior Nun questions. I don't know what to tell you about Warrior Nun. I mean, we all miss it. We're all sad. We're like, I think the best thing that at the moment I can give you from it is that we all still love each other a lot. And there's some amazing friendships come out of it. And hopefully some of us will be working together in the near future.
And you're going to keep us posted on your future projects to where we can help.
100%. Like I want to make things that I can't bring back Warrior Nun for you right now. If I could, if I got a call tomorrow, like I would be there, and I think everyone else would as well. And I do think it's a story that's unfinished, and I like, as everyone has, I think probably Simon himself included. I haven't spoken to a while, but I think they've looked into other ways of bringing it back. But I know that for you guys, the heart of Warrior Nun is Avatrice. And to bring it back without that, you probably wouldn't love it in the same way. I don't know. Like, yeah. But then, so I think, I mean, it's up to Netflix if they ever want to remake it again or start it up again in a different way. I don't know, like the legalities of the copyright and who owns what and what characters are from the comic book and what characters are from Netflix and stuff. Because you could spin off a character, but you wouldn't have all those characters that you love. I'm trying to think of other shows that have done that as well. I guess like Buffy did it with Angel.
Yeah.
And I did
But they
watch
were, but it
Angel.
was also still part of attached to the same
Yeah,
people
it was like the same universe.
and the same creator and stuff.
I don't know, but would you like say another show was created in the vein, not in the vein, but like, with the same kind of heart and guts and character as Warrior Nun? I'm sure you guys would support that as well.
Yeah.
I don't know what you got. Like, what are you watching? Is there anything you guys love right now? Is there anything you're excited about?
I know that in like, I'm gonna butcher this, but in Thailand, you know, what,
You're about to
someone
talk
help
about
me.
GL in Thailand.
What are what is it called, Robin, those shows? Okay. Someone help me. Everybody
I don't watch them, so I don't know.
okay. Uh
Thailand is blowing up right now.
with the
They're called
with
Thai
lesbian
GLs, I
content.
thought.
I just said, like, are you about to talk about Thai GL?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Um, it's massive. Like, the dog is back because the dog's interested in this as well. The dog's like, I'm back in the game. Um, yeah, so I discovered this recently, and one of my friends is an actor, and she's British Thai. And she's been living in London the last few years, and she's just moved back to Thailand this summer. And I sent her a message, and I was like, "What is this? What is this Thai GL that is coming up in my feed?" And she's like, "Oh my god, I know it's blowing up here." And I was like, "But like, how? Like mainstream as well?" I'm told. I don't know much about like the Thai TV landscape. Um, but I think like three of those GL shows were on Netflix. They were bought by Netflix. Netflix didn't make them, but they bought them, and they were quite successful. Um, yeah, and that I don't know how many European people are watching them. I know they're massive in Asia. I know it's like, and I'm late to the party. Like I kind of have just in the last year or so discovered like K-drama, and I'm starting to watch that. And I've just fallen. I feel so behind, but I've just completely fallen in love. And I knew this anyway. Asian cinema is Asian storytelling is so good right now. It's so beautiful, and probably always has been, but I wasn't exposed to it. Um, and like Rental Family is set in Tokyo, and like one of my favorite films ever is In the Mood for Love, and I'm kind of I don't know. I feel like there's a really great indie filmmaking movement there now, and but also like a really great kind of indie movement in TV and the queer representation. I think I heard that, and this is just what I know from research. I think in COVID they started making BL, which blew up. It was like that's kind of what started it, and then they were like, oh, we should try a GL storyline, and then that blew up in a way that they didn't expect. Yeah, those stars are becoming really big. Um, right now, that's the only country I know that's doing it. I know that gay marriage got legalized, I think, at the beginning of 2025 in Thailand. So it could be like, there's a cultural shift there going on at the moment where people are really in support of it. So yeah, I've watched some of those. They're cute. They're very
Yes.
diverse though. The range is massive.
Yeah, it is.
Which one did I watch? I watched one recently, which I thought was really interesting. I haven't watched all of it, but I watched a thing called Claire Bell. You guys know this? No? None of you?
Some
Okay.
I see
It's
some
like
shaking their head.
it's like Thai Orange is the New Black.
Hmm.
Maybe you guys are all gonna go and watch this. But it's a really it's dark. For that genre, it's really dark. And heavy because it's in a prison. But it feels like the way it's made, it feels like because I think they're really low budget shows, and it feels like indie film. And I think the director of that did a really good job, which is what kind of made me keep watching it. Um, yeah, and the use of color and the way the palette of it was quite indie film feeling. Um, it was good. But yeah, I think with you guys are starved of that content at the moment.
Yeah, that's why I stick with lesbian reading books.
So I haven't watched any of these Thai GLs and things online, but because of social media, because of X and Instagram, it's really interesting to see how these shows are marketed to their audience. And
Yeah.
it's really become kind of like its own subculture in a way that the way it's delivered, it's episodes, per week, or I think it's maybe a couple times a week that these things are delivered. So like the way in which it's devised is great because it generates conversation online for
Yeah.
people to connect and watch it together, discuss it, break it down. But I think a lot of what brings people to that space, and it's kind of funny because Warrior Nun kind of exists in this niche space also, is it's almost like bringing fan fiction to life for people.
It's really
It's
interesting. Yeah, that you
yeah,
say.
it's stories that, they're romantic and they're tropey, and people want that. People want to see things that have, a good like romantic ending or a positive ending, not where the leads are going to die or people are going to go through hell and back to get to each other, but it's this progressive slow burn of things that we're reading and consuming already in a space for free that are now being brought to life. And it's exciting for people because they want positive content. They want to experience something, on a regular basis that is going to build and build and build for them. And like these shows have like 50, 60 episodes. And we're starved for that. Like I hate the Netflix idea of here's an 8 episode season, we'll see you in 2, 3 years.
It's really interesting. Like I don't know who said all that. Do you want to tell me your name?
It's
I go
Desiree.
by
I
Desiree.
thought it was Des. Yeah. Okay, cool. So like you totally nailed it exactly. And this is what, as much as I'm a creative, I have to take my creative hat off every now and then and put my like business hat on. There's no point in making things if I can't,
Absolutely.
consume them and pay for them. I've looked at this kind of phenomenon that's happening out there, and there's definitely, and this is like part of me looking because I'm, and I'm not just talking like Thai GL and queer storytelling, but like Asian storytelling as a whole right now, I think is having like this big moment. And what I've been really drawn to is, and I know you guys know me from Warrior Nun, but like I started out doing short films, and my short films are very like I wrote them, they're very character driven, and I love character driven storytelling. And what I find about, and obviously not all, but what I have consumed, Asian storytelling is there's a slowness to it and a nuance to it. And this slow burn that you talked about, whether it's straight or queer love stories. And yeah, I think you guys are all related. There's like a yearning that I feel like a lot of Western storytelling now has become, in the first 5 minutes, someone's died, someone's betrayed, someone is going to kill someone else, and they've already slept together, and that's just the setup. It's like, bam, how about, it's like the kind of shock value to hook you in. And what I find is there's this, when I heard about this kind of storytelling, what I was interested in was the fact that you usually have a show with two female leads, and it's often a love story, so it's two female queer leads, and you're having like between 8 to 15 episodes, an hour long each episode. I don't know any shows in Western media right now that are having 15 episodes that are 1 hour long with female leads. Like that's a lot of airtime. But I do think the storytelling style is much slower. A lot of the ones I've watched, when you talk about like the tropes, it is tropes. Some of them are quite soapy. But what I think they are achieving, like what you said, is they're really reaching an audience, and they're really kind of courting that audience and communicating with that audience and valuing that audience in a way that they come back and support the show. And then it's like, I remember I asked someone I met in the Warrior Nun fandom quite recently, I said, like, do people that watch Warrior Nun watch Thai GL? And she was like, "Oh my God, yes!" And I was like, "Really? Like all of them?" And she was, like, she didn't know obviously all of you, but she was like, "Some of you definitely there's crossover." Um, because I think Warrior Nun did that well. Warrior Nun built its own community, um, and they're kind of doing that now, and we're not. I don't think we're doing that in the West right now.
I think I think in the Western media right now, I think the way that a lot of like executives and streamers are looking at consumers is we have to pump out content that people can watch as background noise. So you lose so much nuance in shows because people don't want to watch a show that they have to pay attention to all the time.
Can I ask, do you work in film and TV? Like, how are you?
I don't, and the way I got into Twitter, and like my Twitter handle is Warrior Nun Detective, I started doing episode breakdowns of the show and character breakdowns, and that was my thing of getting into and like kind of diving into the psychology of these characters, figuring out like why is it that we're drawn to certain things, why we as people want to see certain aspects of a story come to life, like what was the big draw for Warrior Nun for people. And me as a woman, like I love sci-fi and fantasy shows, and I love badass women characters, three-dimensional people that have depth to them, because that's so lacking in media, and it's so little invested in Western media in general, because the people that hold the purse strings are typically white men, and they don't find value in women paying for media or going to showing up at theaters. But when we get invested in something, we get hella invested in something.
That's what amazes me about this whole thing. Like, and I know Robin loves data.
Our data queen.
I don't have data. Like, I don't know. I guess it would be a test, like to make something and to say, hey, this was made for you guys, like
Right.
specifically for this audience. I'm going to put it out there, not through the streamers.
Mm-hmm.
How many people will show up? And then again, like logistically, you have to think about things like, so say you put it out there and then people pirate things, you know? It happens like all the time.
Absolutely.
And it's like, how committed would the audience be to, like, how much would they understand, hey, no, you have to pay for this if you want more of this material. You have to, but in a way that's really positive, where you say every cent that you give to this, like say it's $5 to watch this film or this series, every cent you give to it goes directly to the filmmakers, the cast, the crew, the people that made it, right? So that they can make you another one.
Right.
And you cut out, because like I'm pretty sure you can make a film and you can put it on Amazon.
Yeah.
But Amazon takes 50%.
Yeah.
Just to put it on their platform. And like when you're working with a small audience and you're only going to recoup so much back, like, you know, that's quite painful. So I guess the real test is to, and I did Google this. I did Google like how many, at one point I was like, how many indie films that have been self-distributed actually like broke even or made money? You know what I mean? Yeah, I've never seen a fandom or a community more dedicated. Like I saw how many times Warrior Nun trended. I saw how many things Warrior Nun won in the couple competitions every week. You know, I would open, every time I opened Twitter, it'd just be like, Warrior Nun, Warrior Nun, Warrior Nun. I saw all the articles about how, you know, what you guys did was amazing. And it's like, if films were made directly for you or shows were made directly for you, would you show up?
I think people absolutely would, but you don't get marketed to, and that's the problem.
That's the truth.
Like how many times has Netflix engaged with our fandom when the show was #1 back in 2020? Almost nothing.
So like the fact that do you think that we know about TGL because
I think social media, because Thailand is such a small country in the scope of the world and in scope of media in general.
Has no one else really, has everyone heard of it or not heard of it?
I think a lot of people on Twitter here in the fandom have, and if not, we know enough people in the fandom who've posted things onto their timelines where, like, I mean, I've never seen it, but I've seen so many clips. I've seen so many fan edits of things just scrolling through
You know
that
what I find fascinating
you kind of
about
get
it?
exposed to it.
Yeah, and that's what's really interesting for me, what I find fascinating. And this is where I bring it back to you guys again, and young people making their own stuff. What I usually see is a fan edit. And I'll see a fan edit that's so cool and so well done. And sometimes they've even graded it and they put some super cool song on and they've like cut it all to the music. And I'll see it looks like a trailer, and I'm like, what is this? This looks amazing. And then I go and I find the thing. And I see the thing and I'm like, oh no, this is not what this like sometimes
It's a niche edit sometimes. We've seen that recently with like things like Arcane, where you have these ships that get these big edits and things, and it draws people in. When we were in Chicago for Vaticon, it was interesting to sit down with people and see, because we asked the question, like, how did you find Warrior Nun? What brought you to the show? And a lot of people talked about how I was on Twitter and I was on Tumblr or I was on Instagram, and I was seeing these fan edits and I was seeing these things that people were interested in, and I wanted to look into it more, which was really cool.
Yeah. I will see the most emotive, like compelling, like the drama of the fan edits that are so crisp and well done. I'm just like, what is this film? And then I like go down a little rabbit hole. And when I say like sometimes the show doesn't add up to the fan edit, I don't mean like the ship might be true, but like I feel like the production value of the show is often not as good as the fan edit. And I'm like, oh god, the fans should have made this. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, it's like a double-edged thing where I'm like excited that these kids made this really cool fan edit and it led me to this, but then I'm like, then I want to go with the show. Oh, this could be so much better if I did this and I did this, and if you lit it this way and you graded it this way, you know what I mean? So yeah,
there's a thing right now online. Did you ever watch the Avatar, The Last Airbender series?
I haven't seen it.
It was back in like 2005. It was big on Nickelodeon for kids, and it gained like a cult following in adults. It just hit its 20th anniversary. But they went Avatar: The Last Airbender. It did a second series called The Legend of Korra, which focused on a female avatar. And then those same creators did a show called The Dragon Prince, and it got a couple of episodes and seasons on Netflix, but then Netflix dropped it. And the creators want to continue the show. So they're doing a special kind of tier level funding where it's all kind of focused on fan service. So we have a tier that we want to reach economically to continue putting money to create this show that we want. And we want the audience and the people that are invested in this series to get on board with it and tell us what they want. And so they're having the audience be part creators in this process, collaborators, and having a say in like how the characters are designed, because they're older now in the way that they want this series to continue and how they want the stories to be crafted. And so they have this big movement of involving the audience, having them be collaborators on the process. And it's gotten funding way faster than they anticipated because they're catering to the people that are invested in it.
This is the thing. This is what I hope and I think we're gonna start seeing more of, because it feels to me, and like even for me, who's been 20 years in TV, right? I have some cool awards, I have some cool nominations, and I go and I pitch things, and I get no a lot. And when I was younger, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm kind of young, because they want you to get old and experience. Whereas now I'm like, no, I'm kind of old now. Like I want the money to make this, you know what I mean? And it's like, I feel like there's a lot of doors closing, and I think you're going to get these communities springing up. And TGL is an example of this, where like I saw recently something came up in my feed. They did like a fan convention. It was massive. Like it was like it was like a concert hall. The amount of people that went, it was a concert. And I was like, okay, that's working in that world somehow. I think that it's just knowing whether European audiences, or like America as well, but like whether they have that kind of commitment to what they want to see. Because it's just so easy. Like, I mean, I just turn on Netflix and I'm like, what do I want to watch? And sometimes I spend an hour just looking for something to watch. I've stopped doing this now because I've realized what I'm doing. But yeah, I think Des is completely. I'm really interested in the show that she's talking about, and I want to check it out now. And I want to check out how fast they got funded.
I'll DM it to you on Twitter or Threads.
Because part of me, like, I wanted to come here today and I wanted to talk about Warrior Nun and be like, because I love Warrior Nun and we should talk more about Warrior Nun as well. But I also wanted to come and be like, guys, I know that you're like, we have no shows, and I want to figure out how we can change that. And there's a lot of people that want to change that and want to make the kind of shows and this is something that you should know. The thing that's difficult about Warrior Nun, and this is the truth, when if you compare it to something like a TGL, if you look at the story and the content of the ones that I've come across and that I know of a little bit, it's about love and characters and families and, you know, stuff like that. Usually it's not about superheroes saving the world and fighting, like, you know, Adriel, and it's not got the VFX. It's not. Warrior Nun, even though we made it on a very low budget because he had an awesome team around him, because we didn't have a big budget at all. Because I know, like, a lot of people bring up Heartstopper and they're angry, like, and they love and they support Heartstopper, but they're angry that Heartstopper was like so loved and, you know, kept getting new seasons, and Warrior Nun got cut. And what it comes down to, if I'm really honest, from what I see, is Heartstopper would cost much less to make than Warrior Nun. And because Warrior Nun is a fantasy show and a supernatural show and a, you know, fight scenes and like it costs a lot. And what is the sad truth about that is, yeah, the more things you make and the bigger the audience becomes and the more people come and support it, then you can start making bigger things with more fight scenes and more explosions and more, you know what I mean, and a bigger budget. But you gotta, unfortunately, you have to start small until you build that, because it's sustaining the cost of a show that costs that much money, and the return you get on it, which is the tragedy of it, really. And then, you know, you look at a big popcorn movie that literally costs like £1 billion and it's not even pocket change to them. But yeah, like my movie that I want to make, Tiamo, which is what I consider a low budget indie film. Like, to movie people, it's a very small budget. In the indie film world, it's still a few million. You know, like Adrian's face just went, whoa. You know, it's not 250,000. Yeah, the average episode of a TV show is 250K now, and that's the low end. You have TV show episodes in America that cost £10 million just an episode. It's crazy. And so yeah, it's figuring out how. But even if you look at something like, you know, Anora that won all the Oscars, that was considered a low budget indie movie. But I heard, and don't quote me on this is just what I heard, I don't have actual figures, but I heard like the marketing for Anora was as much as the film, to get it out there, to get people to see it, to get people aware of it, you know what I mean? And again, it's what this is about, exposure and getting people to know about it. But I feel like I've come on here and I've said lots of like kind of negative things, but there's actually so many positives, because what you have when you have a community like the Warrior Nun fandom is you have a team of people that love a show so much they want to tell everyone about it, and they want to talk about it, and they want to have watch parties, and like, and I'm like that when I see a film that I love or a show that I love. Like, I'll chat to my friends about it and I'll send them fan videos and I'll be like, this was really cool, did you see it yet? You know what I mean? And I'm like, it's me. When you relate to certain scenes and stuff. So I think I'm really hoping that really positive things are going to come soon. And it's just people, I think it's a lot of like people having the guts to just go, I'm going to make something. I'm going to put it out there and see if people come. Yeah, have you all seen Field of Dreams? Are you too young to have seen Field of Dreams? What is it he says in Field of Dreams? If you build it, he will come.
Yeah, he'll come.
I believe that.
We'll come. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Do you have any Warrior Nun questions before we like?
Yeah, so I wanted to bring it back real quick and say that one awesome thing, is this Warrior Nun fandom. We might be quiet at times right now, but if something happens, like Sarah Walker is going to do a film,
The
they would
pressure.
all come back out. Like, there is built-in, and you have built-in people that are good at certain things, and I'm good at like telling people, hey, you're going to do this and this and that, so you have help in the fandom.
I mean, I'm really, really hoping so, and I'm really grateful for that, because I want to make the kind of things that you guys want to watch. You know what I mean? I like the shows that you guys like, and I'm really hoping like, and I know what actors you love. So yeah, hopefully next year there will be a Sarah Walker project with maybe a couple of Warrior Nun actors in it, which I would love you guys to watch and support.
Please utilize us, because we know how to market, we know how to share and spread the word, and we would love to do that for your projects.
Who's saying that? I don't know who's saying it.
Des is saying that.
Des has disappeared from my screen again.
No, she was never on it.
Oh no, I found her. I see her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would love to utilize you, all of you. I want you in my corner. I want to make things that you guys will show up and see, and not just that. Like everything I make, I want to, even if it mostly goes like straight onto the internet, I will do screenings, and cast will be at screenings to do Q&As. I want to make it like I want to build community. I want to build make it a personable experience. I think it's really important.
Veronica, you have a question?
Yeah, it's sadly not a Warrior Nun one, but I'm sure they're gonna come soon. I want to ask, because you talked about like how much it costs currently to do one episode of a show. I keep hearing that it has gotten a lot more expensive in last decades. So I want to ask if you know like how much it used to cost and why it's getting so much more expensive, apart from like, I don't know, just people expecting more or higher production.
Yeah. This is the thing, like, and it's bad because when I was younger, I was so happy to just be there. I didn't ask a lot of questions, I would just rock up and I'd be like, I get to direct a show, awesome. I think the first 10 years of my career, I never asked what a budget was. And then you get older and you learn you should ask these things. I don't know. I think a lot of productions, not the low budget ones, the bigger ones, I think a lot of money is wasted through indecision and fear to do with scripts a lot of the time. Like one of the things I will say about Warrior Nun is it's one of the shows that I would get my scripts, and it may change a little before we shoot, like there may be notes and stuff and a few rewrites, but it was solid. Like you got, as a director, and this is a process you don't talk about a lot, you know, unless you guys ask. I've been on shows where scripts are being rewritten right up till the day of shooting. And what you're supposed to have before a director shoots, you have what's called prep time. And that's my prep time to figure out how I'm shooting it. So if the script keeps changing, my prep is kind of ruined because you've just given me an entirely new scene that I've never seen before. So I haven't prepped that, you know what I mean? And when you're an experienced director, it's fine. You can walk on set. You could give me a script now and a scene, and I'll walk on set and I'll just shoot it, no problem. Because it's a language you learn, you just can do it. But like for really cool, important things, like, you know, especially really kind of emotional, where the actors have got to like go, you know, those scenes that you remember that hurt. You don't want them rewritten the day before. And I found that sometimes on productions, and I probably shouldn't say this because I'll get shouted at, but in some British productions, there's a lot of script changes that are unnecessary. And it's like, just like, let's just get the script sorted before we start, you know. And you're rewriting on set sometimes, and that's like hard. And I find that if you get your prep right, your shoot goes well. You know, if you prep what you're doing really well. So yeah, I think, I don't know why everything's so expensive. I think like I've been on big high-end shows, you have a lot of crew. And on small little indie things, you have a little crew, and it makes it easier sometimes to move around. Like, but on big high-end shows, you'll have sets and you'll have sets built, and that costs a lot of money. I think actors cost a lot of money if they're famous. Yeah, no, actors cost a lot of money if they're famous. Like so like for these films that I'm doing, we do 2 budgets. One is with non-famous actors and one is with famous actors. And it's like, oh, I just have to add like another million on if we get those people. You know what I mean? Which is crazy. And it's also crazy because I don't think there's many actors that will actually get, if you're talking film, I don't think there's many actors that will actually get someone to go to the cinema anymore. I don't think young people go, I'm going to see that because X is in it, you know, unless it's, I heard someone say like Zendaya, Timothée Chalamet, Florence Pugh, kind of people like this. These are like, people will show up for those guys. But like outside of that, like the more older actors that we of our generation consider A-list, young people don't show up for them anymore. And to be fair, there's not many actors that, and you guys tell me, there's not many actors that I would go and see a film for. I would go and see it based on the trailer and if I like that actor.
Honestly, I do think a lot of people go for actors. Not just like actors, but also like just like influencers. I once heard that some like studios or something say like to the person like putting it all together, like, yeah, like the cast in total has to have that much of followers in total.
Yeah.
Just because like people actually show up for people they know. So I do think it happens.
This is really interesting as well, because at the point I'm at now, like for my little indie that I'm trying to get financing for, it's like I have a list, you know, I have a very small list of actors that I love for one of the parts. And the truth is, there's maybe 1 or 2 actors on that list that would get me funding. And the rest, who are famous and really great, probably wouldn't get me funding. So then it's like, do I automatically X them, even though I think they're amazing? It's really hard. And this is a good question for you guys, actually. So do you guys watch film and TV equally? Is it more about the story and the cast than it is the format? Yeah, lots and lots. So if you had like, say you've got some cool projects coming out, who actor wise, who would make you show up? Like, who would you be like, that person's really interesting, I would go and see a female led empowering movie with them in?
This might need to be like a Twitter poll thing that you do with the fandom to really get, I mean, because I don't.
Like I have a list of actors that I would show up for. Like there's certain people. Like I went to see the Chronology of Water.
Sorry,
So
right now I would show up for Florence Pugh, definitely. She's a like breath of fresh air.
she's
I think
brilliant,
she's so
right?
genuine, you know. For the older actors, there's nobody new that kind of got my attention as much to bring me to the cinema. I like Haley, but I just watched her in Dickinson and I didn't see Sinners.
Oh, Haley Stein. See,
And
I was about to
Yeah,
say Haley Steinfeld. I'd show up for
yeah,
Haley Steinfeld.
yeah.
yeah, but if she showed up again in MCU like a Hawkeye, her and Florence Pugh, they were the best thing that MCU ever did. After that, I no. You know, like
That's
no.
true though. I watched all of Hawkeye. And
It
I
was
thought it was great.
awesome. The best dynamic I've ever seen since I don't know.
Yeah, they were so good. Okay, so this is
And they
good.
need to bring them back. We need more of them. And Florence also good in Thunderbolts. And
Yeah.
I never got if since we're talking about actors I will show up. I never watched any MCU movies after Endgame because the old crew was the old crew.
All right. Did you guys
So
watch
I would
Killing Eve?
which one?
Did you watch Killing Eve?
Killing Eve, yeah, I watched Killing Eve. I watched oh my god, it was
I'm
an awesome show.
assuming you
Shitty
guys
end.
would show up for Jodie Comer, right?
Yeah, probably. But it was a
Yeah,
shitty
pretty
end.
awesome.
Read the books for happy ending.
Okay, I haven't read the books, but yeah, I thought that was a brilliant show. I thought the first season of Killing Eve was one of the best pieces of TV I ever saw in my life. Like,
Yeah,
first season was flawless.
yeah, it was.
Um,
It was great.
do you know what's really funny? When I got that episode 6 of season 1, I was like, I went to Simon, I was like, nothing happens. I was kind of, because I had all the fights in 5 and loads of stuff happens. They jump on the ferry, and I was like, dude, they just talk. Um, and he was like, it was kind of a test to see how good of a director I was, I think. And Zach said that to me as well. We have like, when you have an episode where there's like lots of action and loads of stuff going on in a show like that, in an episodic show, then you usually have an episode. I don't want to say the word filler because that does it a disservice, but it's kind of a backstory episode. It's a downbeat episode. Not much happened. You know what I mean? It's slower. It tells the audience a lot of things they need to know about the characters. So and it had the butcher fight at the end, which was like very cool and exciting. But yeah, I basically like episode 5 season 1 was like, okay, I'm shooting Buffy, and episode 6 season 1 was like, okay, I'm shooting European art house cinema. That's literally how I looked at it. And that's how I tried to shoot it. I was like, they're in Spain, they're wandering around, it's character driven. Alba's having like growth emotionally, and it's kind of existential. And Toya's pointing out loads of things about her character to her. And I guess it's kind of the episode where she changes from not wanting to be the warrior nun to, okay, I'm the warrior nun. And that's cemented in the butcher scene at the end, the fight in the butchers, where she has to step up and do it on her own without Toya. And what's cool about that, and this is, I don't know if you guys know this already, so Simon didn't want to shoot handheld because he wanted it to look cinematic. And that butcher shop was so small. And it was like, and those like tripods and dollies are so big. And it was such a kind of vicious like fight. And she's got no skills. She's not like Beatrice. She's not graceful. You know what I mean? She's not learned to be a fighter yet. And I went to him, and I sat with my DP as well. And I went to Simon and I said, I want to ask you something. And I know it's against the rules, but can we please shoot this fight handheld? And he was super cool. He's like, why? And I gave him like all my, I was like, one, like technically it's a really small space, but like two, I think like the way the fight is choreographed, because like she hits him with a piece of chicken at one point, I think, like, and like the knife swipes, like we can just move really fast in that space, and we can give it this real punchy energy, which we don't, which will be different from the side fights in season in episode 5, because in episode 5 the fights were between like Toya and Lorena, who are skilled fighters in different ways. Like Toya boxes, and Lorena is like very skilled with the sword and stuff, and the, you know, karate stuff. And I'm like, Ava's never fought, so it can be messy, it can be ragged. And he was like, yeah, go for it. And I think that really helped, and it made the fight really good. So it's things like that, like, and that's having a good showrunner.
Another, like, one of the touches that you had on Warrior Nun. Can you tell us a couple more that you brought in that we don't know about?
I'm trying to think, like, I'll tell you something that I suggested cutting, which I shouldn't have suggested cutting. And this is again testament to Simon. He was like, no, I'm not cutting that, it's cool. And I was like, is it? And he was like, yeah. And he's right. You know when Toya kicks her off the cliff? It's funny. And we were really struggling to find a cliff. I'd gone everywhere looking for it. I think I went over the whole of Spain looking for this cliff. And we had so little time to find, because I think there was so few sets that are shot in season 1 and in season 2, I think. So we're using actual locations. So like all those Spanish countryside things, that's just us walking around the Spanish countryside looking for shots, me with my phone taking photos, you know. And I couldn't find a good cliff or a safe cliff. And I was like, should we just cut the cliff? Is it that funny? Is it really that good? And he was like, no, it's really that good. You're not cutting the clip because it's more work for me. And I was like, the fight's more interesting, and like the emotional scene in the caves is more interesting. Like that cliff's taking so much time out of my day. And he said, no, get the clip. And then we found a clip and we made it work, and it was really great. And I loved that we didn't cut it. So yeah, my boss is a good boss.
That clip scene gives.
Can I ask Oh, you go, Des.
Sorry, I was just gonna say that clip scene gives me like the best sibling energy.
Yeah.
Like as a person who has younger siblings, oh my gosh, that was hilarious to me on so many different levels. It was worth it.
It was practically so much fun. And like I'll tell you another thing that was these little things. The entrance to the cave, we could not find an entrance to a cave anywhere, right? And people, no one knows this. So we have a thing like where we shoot, we have like what's called unit base, right? Where all the trailers and stuff are with the kit, the equipment, you know, the actors' trailers, everything. So we had this unit base like off this beaten track on this little kind of car park. And there was it was like a hill, and it had a little crevice. And you could walk into it. There was no cave. Like you basically walked in 2 foot and then hid around the corner. And I'm searching for this cave for days. And I got back to unit base. I don't think I was shooting already. And I just saw this little hole in the hill. And I just went, what about that? And they were like, are you serious? And I was like, because it's in the middle of unit base. Like, we're not shooting anything there. It's where all the trailers are. And I'm like, I can't find a cave. And you haven't found a cave. And we have 2 days and we need a cave. Like, and I was like, I think if you look at the episode, I'm like, if we do the shot like this and we tighten up and we don't show any of this or any of that, like, it looks like a little entrance to a cave. And so we ended up using it. And Toya's like, well, I just walk in and hide around the corner. And I'm like, yeah. So Toya literally walks in and goes, and everyone thinks it's a cave, and it's not. It's like, it doesn't go anywhere. But it's little things like that, like time and the money. It's like, just constantly being creative and looking for that's how you be an indie filmmaker though. Like it's tricks like that. And it's tricks like when you have a bar and you have 5 extras and you need to make that bar look really busy, you shoot a long tight lens and you pack people next to your lead actors, so you get the dirty frame with the people, but the rest of the bar is completely empty, but no one knows. And then the sound will hide that. So what was you had another question though about
Someone did.
Oh, yes. Sorry. I was going to ask, like, you say that you spent a lot of time trying to find this cave and trying to find this cliff. Like, what sort of timeframes are you talking about when you talk about like trying to find a location that suits that shot? And like, how much time do you spend just traveling from location to location?
it's different for different shows. So like I remember season 1 of Warrior Nun, I was in and out really quick. Season 2 was longer because I was opening the show, so I had more to set up. And I feel like season 2 had more VFX. It was more ambitious, but because season 1 I came in the middle, so when you come in the middle, everything's set up for you. Do you get what I mean? So like if there's some new locations in my episodes that aren't in other episodes, I have to find those. I think I shot season 1, 2 episodes in like I want to say 17 days, if I remember correctly, which is insanely fast for a show like that. Like that would be normal for a show where people just talk. The Lorena fight scene in season 2, we shot in a day. If that was like Marvel, that would be 5 days. And what we did is my stunt team were amazing. Both seasons of Warrior Nun, to be honest. And my stunt team, while I'm prepping and shooting and everything, they choreographed that entire thing with the bulk camera for days on end in a warehouse. So that we planned it meticulously so that when we went in, we knew exactly where everyone was going, where the camera was going, and the DP was really good with that as well. So that like literally on the day you go in, we just hit record and it's just like bam, 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 bam. But it was a long day, and it was an intense day because I don't know if you know what the bolt camera looks like. So the bolt is like a robot arm and it's huge. And they use it a lot on commercials. They don't usually use it in film so much. And the camera's attached to it and it's programmed. So as soon as you push play, like it goes, and it's really dangerous. Like you have to have safety guidelines around because that it's not stopping if someone's there. You know what I mean? So you've got to be like there's certain days where you've got to be really, really careful with safety and stuff. And like, yeah, there was just a lot of guys getting shot and beaten up, and I mean, like the things that like Lorena did to them. But yeah, I think season 1 was 17 days. I think maybe season 2 was a little bit longer. Also, we were dealing with COVID in season 2, which was really difficult. So like that took time out of our day. We were getting tested a lot. Just for, there were the rules and stuff. And then I think like usually, so if I'm doing, I can talk about, I remember Discovery of Witches more because I was on it longer, I think in Discovery of Witches, I shot 3 45-minute episodes and I had 8 weeks prep or 9 weeks prep. So you shoot for less time than you prep. Does that make sense? And then
that makes sense. That's so much work though. And I'm like, I struggle to like calculate how you compress so much into such little time for Warrior Nun. That's like when do you have time to like think?
I don't know how we shot Warrior Nun in the time we have, to be fair. For the show it is. Like I did a little Netflix show called for the BBC as well, called Get Even. And it was just like a 25-minute ep. And that I shot in 5 days. So like 25 minutes, it was almost like 5 minutes a day. Well, we shot they were 30 minutes eps, but then we'd cut them down to 25. But like in terms of the process, if you want to know that, so like I basically get there. I've usually got my scripts before I've started, and I've read them and I put notes all over them. And it takes a while to learn them. And I'll usually get more drafts. You might get like 3 or 4 drafts. And you really notice straight away like how when you have a showrunner like Simon, it's his show, he knows the show. Like he knows exactly what he wants. So it's really easy in that respect. Because you kind of have one, even though he has other execs, you have like one creative voice that you can go to all the time. But so it's scripts, it's script meetings. Then you have like script meetings with every department. And sometimes like I usually do like costume and makeup. We usually do together because they work together a lot. You know what I mean? And the ADs will probably, like your first AD will probably be in on that meeting as well. The DP and you are that, like you're like never separate at work once you get there, once the DP arrives, because the DP has to see what you want. Like you have to share a brain almost. And it depends on what kind of director. Like I know there are some directors that just like to work with actors, and visually they kind of leave it more to the DP. And I'll be completely I'm not that person at all. Like because I started in indie film and I made my own indie films and I shot my own indie films. I'm like, I know every shot I want. Which depending on your DP, some DPs love that because it's more about, especially if you're aligned as well, but it's more about light and tone, the conversations we have, and movement, and you know what I mean. But we'll, like when we went to Rhonda, for example, there are those. This is season 1 again. There's some beautiful shots over the bridge, like big wides, where you see the bridge, and I think one is sunrise and one is sunset. And like we would go there, and I just get my phone or my camera, and I'm literally like hanging over the bridge with my phone. And obviously, it's easier to take a photo with your phone than it is a massive like film camera. But I'm like, I take the shot. And Chris has run around and took a bunch of shots as well. And then we stand there with our phones and we're showing each other the shots. And we're like, oh, I like this one. I like this. I don't like this one. And we pick the ones we like best, kind of thing. So it's meetings, and then they throw you in a van and you go out to locations. And they try to hit loads of locations in one day. So you might drive like for hours, you know, and you get back kind of when it's dark, and you might see 3 restaurants, and then you might go see 3 cliff tops and then you might go and see like, I don't know, 3 alleyways to beat up Tristan in, and you pick which one. And as a director, and I don't know if any of you guys are directors, but you just walk in places and you're like, you immediately look at it technically, like where's the window, where would the light be, things like that. But it's, for me, it's more of a feeling. And you know that Barbara will come as well.
That was my question.
Barbara will do her match. So Barbara doesn't usually come when I first see things. She comes when I like something. So then if I say, hey, this will really work, but it has white walls, and the DP's like, I don't want white walls. And then Barbara comes in and goes, okay, I can make them blue. Like, and she's brilliant like that. We really struggled to find the restaurant that, I think his name is Matteo, in, you know, when they go to Rhonda, basically, and they're in the little town. And Barbara took me to a lot of restaurants. I was like, this one, no, this one. But she also, sometimes I go, this one, and she's like, no. Like, I love Barbara's Barbara does not shy away from telling you what she thinks. You know what I mean? She's like, I cannot make this work. I can make this work. But she's brilliant. She's one of the best production designers I ever worked with, and what she does with so little. So then,
Did you ever get to see her Warrior Nun Bible that she
I've
made?
seen everything. Like, so this is another thing we do before we start shooting. Her prop team will take me to the prop store, and every single artifact or prop that is in my scenes is on a table, and they show me, and they're often really young, and they're so lovely and so cute, like her assistants, and they'll be like, okay, so we have 4 different crosses, which one do you like best? And I literally go, one, what do you think? And then they're like, okay, we have 4 different daggers for oh god, what's her name? I can't remember her name. I've gone blank. You know, she takes out Mina, the little one. What, I can't remember her.
Camilla?
Yes, Camilla. I went
Okay.
blank. Yeah, like they'll be like, we have 4 different daggers for Camilla. Which one do you want? Kind of thing. And I'm like, which one does Camilla want? And then we pick them. So yeah, they show me everything. And then they'll be like, I remember when they showed me the halo that was going to go in Alba's back when it blows up and blows the lights up in the warehouse in season 1. And it's so cute because it's like we're kids, and they show me, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then they're like, look, and if you push this button, it lights up. And I'm like, oh wow. And that's why it's the best job ever. And then you go home and you think, that's what I just did today for a job. And it's like some grown man that's like worked on building this halo, and he's like, it lights up, look. It's very cool. And I remember when we were doing, you asked me about scenes that were when we blew the lights up in the warehouse. There was about 4 people controlling that situation, and we like blocked it out, and they did like a rehearsal, and then they're like, when do you want the lights to blow, Sarah? Because if I say now, like blow, and then it goes to another person who then says blow to the technician, there's going to be a delay. So they're like, do you want to say it in advance and then I say it, or do you want to say it? And they're like, and then there's like 4 guys around me going, you've only got 1 chance to get it right. So then the scene's happening, and it's action, and it's like, you know, Loretta's on top of Elva, like, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna rip the halo out. And I'm watching, so I'm watching the performance, and I'm at the monitor, and they're like, Sarah, the lights, and I'm like, oh my god, because you're trying to think of like so many different things, and then they're like, hit the switch, and then everything blows up. So yeah, it's super fun. It's stressful. You have stressful days. There was one day where I was like, I can't complete this day in time. And I told Simon in advance, like, the more experience you get, the more you can look at your schedule and know if you can make it. And it was the butcher day in Ronda. And because we were only there for 2 days, everything had to be crammed in to those 2 days. So you can have a thing called like light days and heavy days. So like a lighter day will be like, oh, we only have like X amount of scenes and this is quite an easy day. Whereas certain things are location dependent and you can only be there for 1 day and you've got like 9 scenes. And it's like, oh, how are we gonna, you know? And I remember getting my schedule and being like, I can't make this day. And he was like, how long do you need? And I was like, I need an extra hour. And he was like, he was like, you got it. Because I finished early some of the days, which the crew love. You finish early. So they were like, yeah, he was like, no worries. And we finished on the dot on that hour. And I was like, oh. Because that's when you're starting out as a director, that's one of the most important things you have to do is complete your schedule.
Sarah, was there anything that you kept or found, like, or not found, I guess, but were like gifted or given from props, or anything that you were able to like snag or keep from set?
I feel like there has to be. I take one thing from every show I do. I mean, they gave us a Warrior Nun like fleece, which my mom has stolen. She thinks she's very cool when she walks the dog in my Warrior Nun fleece. I wanted a sword, but I think they were too special. Like, I think Simon has a sword. Barbara is so cute though. Barbara's like, I'll get you a sword. But then because I was never at the end, like, you can't take anything until the production is over. You know what I mean? And I was season 2 at the beginning and season 1 in the middle, so I missed all that stuff. There's definitely stuff I've got though, but I can't think what it is at the moment. It's just things like the storyboards, things that I keep because they're really cool. They're like little graphic novels, like oh, and a bag. Barbara gave me a bag. I think the scene where JC and Alba escape into the ferry. They did the prop table thing. They took me to the prop table and they said, this is how specific they are. They took me to the prop table and they're like, which bag do you want for JC? And I was like 5 bags and I pick a bag. And I was like, this is a really cool bag. And she's like, you can have it when it's over. Oh, there was one thing that they kept for me and I wanted. And I don't know where it ended up. And Barbara kept it for me. And I'm gutted that I don't have it. It's somewhere. Someone has it somewhere. But she specifically kept it for me. In season 1, you know, the artist that drew the pictures on like the beachfront. Without me knowing, Barbara got them to draw one of me. So I'm in, you know, when there's like a board full of portraits and I'm there. And she kept it for me, but I left and I never managed to get it off her. But like even things like that, like even the girl that played the artist, Jessica, is like an Instagram friend. Like we still chat, you know what I mean? She literally was in one scene playing the artist. Like that's how many people kind of connected through it. Is there anything specific about the show? Because I feel like you guys must be getting bored now. No idea.
Veronica had a question.
It's less of a question, more me asking you something. You said you come across a lot of like good indie stuff. Can you, I don't know, keep sharing them with us over social media?
Yeah, 100%. And the sad thing is, I wanted to like say a bunch of things. A lot of them are older. Like a lot of my favorite films, my favorite indie films are like, I don't know how many. I don't really use Twitter anymore. I don't know how many of you follow me on Instagram. I post a lot of rubbish on Instagram, but it's stuff that I like and think is cool. But I post a lot of like film stuff I like. I post a lot of scenes from movies I like that I think are cool. Sometimes I don't even think the movie's that cool, but I think the scene is cool.
Thanks.
But what about you guys? Like, what movies and shows do you love?
I mean, personally, I'm currently obsessed with Arcane, so
I keep hearing about it.
Watch it, seriously.
What season are they on? I watched K-pop Demon Hunters recently.
They're done after 2 seasons.
And that's it. It ended.
Yeah, there might be other shows which are loosely connected, but it's over. But planned over.
Is it a Netflix production or a show that they bought and put on?
I think not really. They bought it, but it was produced in collaboration with them.
Oh, so they own the rights.
So like there are DVDs of it. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know. What else do you guys like?
If you have Apple TV, there's some really good female-centric shows with like amazing sci-fi and like post-apocalyptic world building. So Silo is one of them. Phenomenal show. Really nitty-gritty, really dives into like the human psychology aspect of, you know, a bunch of people crammed into a really small space post-apocalypse. Yeah. A lot of great human heart dynamics. And then you have obviously like the lead is, oh my gosh, what's her name?
Is it Rebecca?
Yes, Rebecca is like Ferguson or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she's world class, amazing actor in this. And then the other one that I would recommend is Foundation, and that's also on Apple TV.
Foundation.
It is phenomenal sci-fi storytelling, and it is so freaking cool.
Kim, who was the lead in Get Even, is in Foundation. I think she's quite a big role in it. Is that over as well now, though?
No, so that's continuing on, and I think they're on season 4 coming.
Okay, that's good to know.
And it's based on a book. It's based on a book series. So it's rich anthology. It's got, it takes place over a multitude of generations. So you have like past iterations of these characters. There's a cryosleep aspect, and you have the future. And it's all based on this science that they, develop within the realm of the show. But it is a really, really cool show.
Okay.
Definitely worth checking out, and world-class acting. I know there's a couple of like major actors in it, but it's also just a lot of new young faces and people in the industry that just shine.
Okay, brilliant.
Rachel, you had a question, right?
Oh man, I was going to ask, were there having to move through scenes so quickly and having these packed days, were there scenes where the actors weren't really happy with what they'd put down, like they kind of wanted to do it differently maybe, and you were like, no, that's good, let's keep going?
I think with my episodes, like I can only talk about those, I didn't feel that. I feel like the only moment that kind of happened a little bit was in season 1 in the warehouse scene. We were trying to do so much in such a short amount of time. Like we had, I think, like Alba goes in there with JC to escape Lorena. Lorena punches JC, which I really enjoyed. Then they get in a fight. Then we had to blow the lights up. Then Toya runs in. Then they get in a fight. Then the Taras came out, and that's a guy on stilts in like a suit. So then he's like running around, and then he's got to flip the car, and we actually flipped the car. So that's not VFX, that's an actual car. And I remember, like, because there's a lot of safety, with that level of stunts. And then also, like, Toya's shooting guns, so we've got the armor's on set as well. And then we had Lorena on a wire because the Taras like gets her, and she's like off in the air, and she's like in the air, and it was like 40 degrees, and Christina costume made those costumes so authentic and so well. They were wool, so Lorena's like sweating to pieces. And I remember it was just kind of too much to do in the time we had, because that's a lot of things going on. Like the stunt alone, you have to stop, and that's going to take an hour, 2 hours just to flip the car and then get the car moved, and everything's safety. And they have to put in these like air canisters that blow the car over. And this is where, like, obviously I'm very professional, but this is the moments where I literally turn into like a kid, and I'm like, we're gonna flip the car, guys. Like, we're all excited to flip the car. And then it's like back to serious acting. And I just remember, like, there was a couple of moments where the actors were like, it's just all happening so fast, and we're doing the action and hitting our marks, but we feel like the performance is rushed. So it was like slowing it down, and then just like going, after we'd done all that, going, okay, now let's just get a close up on you of that whole moment. And I remember that was the one day where we really struggled to complete. And then next day we went back, and Simon did a couple of pickup shots because we didn't feel like we had everything we wanted. And I remember but I remember saying it in the production meeting. I was like, that's a massive day. And again, like if that was a Marvel show, that would be 5 days. Like there's a lot going on there. Just putting someone on a wire takes so long. I would say that was the only moment that they felt rushed. There was one other moment where Lorena didn't feel rushed, but I remember when we were shooting that fight scene over and over again in the tunnel, and after she kills everyone, she just has one line where she screams Vincent. And it's almost like changing your brain from the fight, the physical, you know, hitting your, because she learned that choreography, and then she suddenly has to switch off and be really primal and emotional. And I remember she was sat on the chair next to me at the monitor, and like every time she'd do the then she'd come sit with me, have a drink, be like, how was it, look at it, and then she'd go back in and do it again because we'd shoot it so many times. And then she came back and we'd shot the fight, and she was like, I have to do the line. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, I have, because she'd had no dialogue that day. And she was like, I don't like, she was like, and I just remember grabbing her and like being like this and pumping her up and being like, you're just gonna scream it, you're just gonna scream it, I'm with you, you're just gonna scream it so loud. Right? And she's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm like, because she needed that, you know what I mean, to get, because you know, you don't speak all day and then you've got to shout something. And she was like, and then she went out there and I said, just forget everyone is here, just forget, and it's the most rage you've ever had in your life. And she did it, and then she came back to the chair and I was like, yeah, you're fine. So yeah, I think that was just like shouting like that in front of everyone suddenly was a bit, and she's like drenched in blood, and they kept saying put more blood on her, and she was just like I look like a psycho. I'm trying to think what else was, I don't know, there was so many good moments, so many things I enjoyed.
I think Natalie had a question.
Oh, hang on. I'm seeing from Natalie Henderson. I know Natalie, I think. Natalie follows me on Instagram, right?
I do.
Yes. Are you in this? Can I see you or are you hiding?
I think I am seen. I just
Yes.
turned on my camera.
I don't know. Oh, yeah, yes. I can see you. Awesome. Hi, how are you? I
Good,
like
how are you?
by the way, to read them.
I do love all your like posts about female-led shows. It's like everything.
Oh,
Um,
sometimes I think I'm doing it too much and people are like, oh God, enough already.
no, not at all.
It's,
Um,
it's always like female empowerment or like angst and yearning. Or some emo song.
exactly. That's what it's gotta be. That's like all the best stuff.
Yeah, right.
So I like just like I was talking like I'm like an egg edit, so I was like curious about the in general, but like I loved like the dance scene, and I feel like the beats were like so built up. It's like them getting closer and stuff and closer, and like it like cuts back to like them um like at the bar, and like in like they're like wait, it's like when they were joking and they were talking like the nun joke and all that. And I was just curious if there are like any moments like or any scene in the show where like it just like landed so perfectly in the edit that you didn't expect, or like there was like some beats that you directed of like with the bar scene of like them getting closer, like certain dance beats that you ended up like moving around in the edit, and it ended up becoming like something differently or that you didn't expect from directing initially.
I think the things that, and this is just me being really honest. I have an editor in England that I work with,
Mm.
Nikki McChristie, a female editor. She's brilliant, and we've done 3 or 4 shows together. And the first big show she cut with me was Discovery of Witches, and before that we did tiny little like teen shows together. But the first time and editor, I don't struggle with it now because I have Nikki, but working with editors was one of the things that I struggled with when I started. Because I started as an indie filmmaker, I cut all my shorts myself, literally on Final Cut Pro 7 when it existed and was good. I struggle with a little bit. It's such a different interface to what 7 was. So the first cut Nikki ever gave me, I would basically shoot shows and then I would get my assembly edit and I'd be like, and I'd watch my edit and I'd just be like, oh, this hurts. And I'd be like, I'm gonna have to change like 50% of this. And I'd want to take it home and cut it myself. And 50% of it was good, and 50% of it was like, this is not how I shot it to be. And then I met Nikki, and Nikki gave me a cut, and it was this tiny little Disney show I did called Evermore. It was like a kid show. It was really fun. It was supernatural as well. And I got my cut and I watched it, and I was shocked. I had like 5 notes, which is nothing for a first assembly. And I was like, wow, this person. And what was interesting, we weren't friends at the time. Like, someone had recommended her. We're really good friends now from working together. She just won actually a Royal Television Society Best Editor Award. I was there with her to see her do it. Yeah, she's brilliant. But she comes from the same background as me. Like, we're similar age. And this was another thing I thought, like, and I've wondered, I feel like we share a brain with edits and films. And she says to me, your footage is so easy to put together. Like, I get it, and I know exactly what you're doing. And she said, like, sometimes I get stuff and it's a lot of coverage and no plan. And I have wondered if it's the fact that we're women, we're a similar generation, we're even a similar height, which I do think makes it's things like this that make a difference. Like, because when I go on set and I might say to my DP, okay, it's a handheld shot of like a single of this actor. And if you think about it, sometimes the DP is a 6'3" man. So he goes handheld on his shoulders and he's up there. And I'm like, no, this height. Because this is how I literally see the world. Like, when I'm in a gig, I can't see over people's shoulders. So, like, even something like height and the perspective of how you see that, and that's a very literal example. But Nikki just seems to get it. And so when I don't work with her and I'm on a job and I'm getting a new editor, I do go, oh God, like, how's this gonna go? And I'll be really honest, when I got my assemblies back for season 1, I had an editor called Chris who did season 1 and season 2. And I was so, like, really pleasantly surprised by the fight scenes. I thought he did, like, I had barely any notes. I think season 1, I remember, like, saying maybe just cut a few seconds off here and speed this up a little bit and some things. There was one, the editors on Warrior Nun are really good, and with fights and emotion as well. There's 2 scenes I can think of that I changed a lot, and one is in season 1, and I barely worked with Beatrice in season 1. I think I did like 2 scenes with her. I didn't really know Christine that much in season 1. There was a scene where, you might remember it, it was her and Doretti and Tristan, and they're in Doretti's like study, and someone brings the shield to them, and the shield is like on his desk, and they're talking about the shield. And yes. Cut it. But whoever cut all the other scenes brilliantly. But with this scene, Doretti and Tristan are like having kind of a masculinity contest. You know what I mean? They're like, the shield, and people did this. This is a lot of like men talking. And they cut it like the scene was about them. And Beatrice is in the background watching. And that was the only scene I think that I had a lot of notes on. And I sent it back. I got it. And then I sent it back and I said, can you recut this scene 70% on Christina? Because for me, she's my hero. And the scene was about her watching these 2 men having this contest about who has more power. You know what I mean? And she's like a spy picking up information. So she was kind of stood back here, like watching. And it was cut more like the scene was about the man, and she was a witness, like, you know, an aside. She was like the 3rd most important person. And I'm like, no, it's all about her and what the information is she's getting from these guys to go and report back to the nuns. So then that was recut and it came back and it was perfect. But that's, and I don't know if this is true, but like psychologically, I've read that people see scenes and they they cut the scene in relation to the character they identify with most. So like it would make sense. Sometimes guys, they go,
Yeah.
"Oh, there's a guy, that's me." They cut the scene, you know. But then when you say, "No, it's all about her," and I'll give my DP this, I'll give him props for this, Chris, because one of the first things we talked about is Ava's show. Everything is Ava's point. Even when there's an ensemble, the person that the edit should always be most on is Ava more than anyone else, even if she's not speaking and she's just watching. And a lot of my scenes will open with like Ava coming in. Like there's the scene where she comes down the steps in Rhonda and it's just like we're just Ava, and then she talks to like locals, and we shoot the locals in a group shot, and they don't really get close. The only person that gets a close up is the little kid that warns her about the danger. Everyone else is just a group shot, and it's just, and they're all talking, and we're just on a single on Ava. We pull back to the group, reveal the group. And then there was one other scene. Oh, the dance scene. Yeah, no, the dance scene I cut completely. I
love that.
Yeah, I got it, and I think that the guy that cut it, who was very good, I think he didn't want to. I think he was being more respectful than he needed to be. I think he was like not trying to make it like girls dancing and hitting on each other. And I was like, I basically was like, bro, this is really wholesome. I was like, I remember a show, I'm going to reference a show. I remember a show called South of Nowhere. Do any of you guys know this show?
Yes.
And the reason I remember that show is because after that show, so many memes came out about how they would brush each other's hair. Like in scenes where straight characters would make out, they'd be like, let me brush your hair. And I was like, and it was so true. And it was just like, so when I got the dance scene, I was just like, this is too polite. Like, they really into each other. Like, I need people to be like, I need people to, even if people have never seen this show, they got to see this scene and go, what? What is going on there? There's a vibe. There's a thing. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, and I knew the exact moments from what we'd shot where it would work. But the one thing people don't know, and like I thought it worked out well, but I had a totally different piece of music. And I cut it to that music. So like every cut, it was the one thing, I just cut that scene. And then I just sent it to him with a time code and I said, can you cut this?
Yeah.
And he did it and it was perfect.
I love that there's like that collaboration, like where like you can cut a scene and give it back to them, and like I'm like, so sometimes I'm unsure of like how the collaboration can work in television compared to like filmmaking. So that's like really cool how you have that like that ability to do that after you direct that like with such intention.
What I think was great about that guy is he was a cool guy. And he was like, he didn't, because some guys, not guys, but some editors wouldn't have liked that. They could have been, and I've had experiences where people are like, you're a director, stay in your lane. And I'm like, no, I'm an indie filmmaker and I can edit this, you know what I mean? But he did a really good job. And I really think, and like I literally said, I think you're being too polite about the dance scene. Like he didn't want to, and I've come across this before though, where sometimes when it is queer girl content, the guys are like, oh, I don't want to be like a creepy guy. So they make it really PG-13. And I'm like, no, like it's fine. You're not being a creepy guy. And there was one other note that I gave him. When I got my first assembly from him, he'd been on a different show. And he'd cut it really fast, and it was episode 1. And I said, no, I want it to be really slow, like a film, and it's going to build slowly. And he was like, oh, okay. And he's brilliant. He took the note, and 2 days later, I got a new cut, and it was a totally different vibe. And he literally said, I'm sorry, I was on a different show, and the pace of the cuts was so different. Yeah, everyone was really lovely. I've sat in edit rooms and fought with people. Not those guys. They're great guys.
Cool to hear, for sure.
So hang on, I'm reading something else. Friendly Rivalry is a new show.
Oh yes.
I haven't seen this one.
I
It's really
recently
good.
it's I think it's really good. And I recently because I just saw like it on Twitter. I don't know if anyone else has heard of Friendly
Is it on
Rivalry.
American Netflix or it's not on English Netflix, no?
No, it's South well it's like distributed in America and I think I'm not sure how many other countries, but it's was produced in South Korea and like it's like their first like major like sapphic led and like women led drama in that capacity and like it has so many cool like I describe the show as like heartbreakingly beautiful in a way. And there's
Yeah,
like yeah, it really I was watching till like 3 a.m. crying in my room.
that's so
And
cool.
it's just like I haven't like seen too many representation recently that I'm trying to find, so I just like put it on, and I was like surprisingly like really into it. I really need a season two, like
I've
desperate.
seen clips of it on Instagram.
Yeah, it's like, and there's so many cool directing things in there, like um, where like she's in like she like kind of is like obsessed with like trying to be good at school, and like she's in her headspace, and they do this like cool like
Are
shot
they
where it's like
friends or do they fall
underwater.
in love?
Hmm?
Are they friends or do they fall in love?
They fall in love, but it's not like I'm not sure how to. Okay, it's like explicit, but also they're not like official. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Like it's like
Oh,
you know it and they know it, but they haven't like actually like talked about it. If that makes sense. But hopefully in season two.
I saw I saw like a fan video of one that I watched a little bit of, but I haven't seen all of it. And it was I thought the cast were good actually. Because I think the range of some of these shows is like Adrian said, like depending on and it's hard, like if you have no money to make something and to make it look good, you know what I mean? But like some of them are quite cool and some of them are really, really, really lo-fi. Um, but like I know how hard it is to make anything, so I respect anyone picking up a camera. I watched some scenes from or a fan video from Love Design. It's a GL and it's really cute. It's so rom-com. It's so wholesome. But it's really cute.
I gotta write that down.
And yeah, I was like, oh, I should check this one out. This one looks cool. Like the cinematography, like it looked kind of a bit more like it had a better budget than a lot of them do. So yeah.
This one did seem like it was on the better like there. I feel like there was more like money involved, and I feel like there was. It looked like cinematography wise looked a lot better than some other ones that I've watched. So that's why I
Okay.
also appreciated
I'll
it.
check it out.
Yeah.
Uh, Natalie, don't you do editing?
I was
Yeah,
gonna say, you work in the industry. You know what it's like.
yeah. So yeah, they're goods and bad things. I work as a I was at a post PA and then did some assistant editing work, but and then I'm kind of trying to get like into the union. Like I was doing like assistant editing and like non-union stuff, and
Yeah.
now I'm trying to do like I'm trying to get my hours to work in the union as an assistant editor and then hopefully editor.
Yeah. It's different there as well though. Like post in America is I kind of was explaining earlier and I don't think I really articulated it. So
Mm.
like in in a I have friends that have directed American shows in America. I've never actually worked in America. I've done three American shows, but never in America, in Spain and Canada. Um, and the post process, like it's like 3 4 days, and then the director's like, bye. They don't
Oh,
like the execs and the producers cut the show in America, not the director. Whereas in England, they're like, don't let the director leave. We need the director to cut the show.
that's like that is something I'm also noticing too, which is why it was cool hearing your story because like there's a I guess there is like a difference with like sometimes with certain shows, but like I guess it depends because I was like on the show Atlanta for as a post PA and
Great show though, right?
yeah, I love that. It was a really good show. I love that show and the director of that show was always there and like they were such a different dynamic of people and they kind of broke all the standards of
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
done, which I really respected. They were all like a family. So like that was like the coolest. I think that was like
That's
one
a
of
cool show to be on, man. Like on your CV. That's like credible. People
yeah,
like the show.
it was great people to work with. No, everyone, every single person in that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tough industry, man. Even shows that I've loved, that I love so much, like there are days that crush you. Like it's not easy. And there are
Yeah.
days that sometimes your teammates or your crew are crushed and you have to pick them up and be like, tomorrow will be better. It's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
think that's why it's like inspiring to like see like you in the industry, like, just like doing your thing and like with female shows and stuff. And like I was on a show recently where like there was some toxic masculinity in the office and like, that's such a thing. So like trying to like deal with that and like it's inspiring to look up to like you and other people who are like doing like the work that like, we all care about that's important and stuff. And yeah.
I think when you start out, like when I started out, I was so happy. I was so grateful to be there.
Mhm.
Like I'd take anything. You know what I mean? I would always take things that were aligned with me, but like I think when you're young and you start out, you put up with stuff and
Mhm.
you put up with people not always treating you the best. And as you get older and you kind of find, your feet more, what one of the best pieces of advice that I would give is the people you start out with, as you grow and kind of climb the ladder, and they do as well, like
Mhm.
hang on to them.
Mhm.
Working with good people is like invaluable. Even if you don't make what people deem like the best thing. Like I have done episodes of shows that people think are not good shows, um, that I adore because of the time I had. Like I did a I did a queer storyline for a British soap many, many years ago. It was the first one I did, and it was so great. In 2 weeks, it had like 5 million hits on YouTube. A fan video did. And that's when I knew. I was like, people want to see this. Like people are starved of this content. And it's funny because when I go up for new gigs, they're like, "What's your best work?" And it's like, "Oh, here's Warrior Nun, here's a Discovery of Witches, here's the Elizabeth Smart thing that I did." But then sometimes I'm like, I did this storyline for Hollyoaks and I wrote and directed. I love it, and it's just this cute little kind of pansexual love triangle. But I had so much fun making it, and I think like try and work with people you like, and remember, I don't know, like why you love movies. And I've there's been times where I've fallen out of love with TVs and movies. There's times where I'm like, oh, this is so stressful.
Mhm.
I don't know, but it's
Yeah.
such a cool thing. Like it's such a cool. I just think like when two people love the same movie, you just have an understanding. You know what I mean? You're like, you look at it, you're like, that scene, right? Like, yeah, oh God, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, and I think it connects people in such a beautiful way. And there's so many things that we as human beings can't communicate with language.
Mhm.
And that movie scene can do that for us sometimes.
Mhm.
So,
It's like the
you're
best, like
so bored and so tired, and you probably need to go, and I probably need to go.
Yeah, you've you've been on here with us for like 3 hours.
I
This
know
is
I
like,
didn't intend to, but you got me a good time. It's Christmas. There's nothing to do. Like,
yeah, it
I'm
worked
basically
out perfect.
I'm at my parents' house. I'm basically just like hanging out with them for the holidays. So I was like, I told them I was like, I gotta go later. I got a Warrior Nun thing, and they were like, okay, we'll be quiet. So yeah.
Yeah, is it any last questions before?
I do really quick before Sarah hops off. Sarah, you talked a little bit about how you kind of got to see the growth of these actors and actresses. You've developed friendships with them over the course of the show. You know, you saw such a big gap of time in between filming for
Yeah.
everyone. What was it like getting to see them grow, not only as people, but as actors in their craft, as well as like post Warrior Nun and seeing them develop and seeing what projects they've gotten onto? What was that experience like for you as a friend and director?
I feel like, and I feel like she'd be cool with me saying this because I feel like she'd say it as well. Like Christina, who is like one of the smartest people I've met in my entire life. I'm not kidding. Who has lived so many adventures. Who is It's so funny. Chris is like the kind of person you're like you'll say something and you'll just be like, oh, this thing, and she's like, yeah, I can do that. And you're like, when did you like she's like full on this badass surfer now. I don't think she surfed when I met her. Maybe she'd done it a little bit. Now she's like sick at it. I would say like I'm pretty sure it was her first job. I think she came out of literally drama school and did Warrior Nun. So I feel like because Alba had worked for years in, she was kind of a name in Portugal and she'd done a lot of stuff and she was part of that world. I think Christina probably has grown the most. And like, I don't know if you guys, I don't know what's out there about the things she's been working on since Warrior Nun, but she's done some really cool things and like deservedly so. And I'm really interested to see, because I know her as Beatrice, I really want to see what else she does. Which is why, like, I have a thing that I've written that I'm going to talk to her about, but it's very different from Beatrice. And I'm like, I don't know how you do this. I want to, like, it's a very kind of cool, relaxed character. And I'm like, I'm curious to see how Christina will, like, kind of a bit like charming, with a bit of swagger. And I'm like, I wonder how she'll do this. But yeah, I think she's just an awesome person that's really smart and has real integrity and really cares about her craft, is really committed. But also, like, it's weird talking about them because they're not here. And I feel like I should have asked them to come. Like Mina and Christina are good and they help each other a lot as well. And when I see, like, sometimes we hang out and the three of us are together as friends and we're just chatting about life stuff. But then sometimes we'll start talking about work. And when you see them together as actors talking about works, like dissecting scenes, dissecting movies, dissecting like how they did a scene, or what a character would like, it's really interesting, again, because they're both super smart. They speak like 72 languages between them, which I find really funny because I'm English and we're really ignorant and we speak barely anything. And you go out with them, they're just like in all these different languages. Yeah, I just think they're both like incredible people. Every job I've done, I've kind of been lucky enough to take like one or two friends off each job, as in close friends. And it's weird because I think maybe after season, I hardly worked with Christina in season 1. And so we didn't really ever hang out after that. And also she was very young because I'm quite old in comparison. I'm older than both of them, quite a lot older. But then, like, yeah, I think also because they're both in London. Christina's not always in London because Christina likes to travel off around places.
Proximity is really helpful.
Yeah, it is. But like, even at the last con we went to, like, I hadn't seen Lorena for ages, and I was like, I thought she was in South America somewhere because she likes to travel a lot as well. And then I walked in and she was just like, Sarah. And I was like, Lorena.
She's doing a play right now in London.
Yeah, I think she is, because I saw something on her Instagram.
Yeah, she's doing a play right now.
And I didn't like it because I didn't know if I was like, do I like it? Because sometimes it goes fast. And I was like, I don't know if you're in this or not. Should I like this? But yeah, I guess I was just really lucky that they're great people. But I think one thing that is connecting us is the fact that we all want to make really cool stuff. Yeah, did that answer your question? I don't know if that really answered your question.
No, that totally answered my question. You're good. I think it's just nice to hear when people that collaborate on something that people love, that there was genuine heart and interest in the people behind the camera as well as in front of it. because the relationships are so symbiotic of each other, and it's nice to see that that continues creatively off screen as well, and
it's
that
funny.
these things can continue.
But even like, I think when I met Mina, when we met, literally when we met, we realized that we both knew some of the same people in London, and we both hung out in the same area, but we'd never met.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, we should hang out, blah, blah, blah. We shot the show, and then, but I don't really hang out on the show.
Different hat.
I shoot and I sleep. And they're young. Like, they go out and they have fun. And they're like, do you want to come out? And I'm like, absolutely not. I need to go to bed. And also, like, I have a lot of responsibility. Like, not in a bad way. I'm like, you have to turn up and kick ass and look good. I'm like, I have to make sure this whole thing gets shot. Like, so I'm like, I will see you at the rap party. And then, yeah, it ended. And we didn't hang out for ages. And I think I was going to a play, and I invited Mina to a play. We'd been saying we should hang out. It was like a year later, and a friend of mine was putting a play on. I was like, "Do you want to come to this play?" She came to this play. But like, when you ask if they're really authentic friendships. In that, this year I didn't plan anything for my birthday. Like, life was happening, and I was too busy, and blah blah blah. And literally, like, the day before, I said to Mina, I was like, it's my birthday. And she's like, oh my God, what are we going to do? And I was like, you want to go to a gig? Like, yeah. And she's like, what's Christine doing? And I'm like, I don't know. So I spent my birthday with Mina and Christina.
That's
and
amazing.
I have like really great friends I've known for years, you know what I mean? And it just so happened it was the three of us that went out. So like, that's how much I love them. They're brilliant. So yeah.
That's amazing.
And they all came go-karting the year before for my other birthday, which was very funny. They're very competitive.
We love seeing that.
So yeah, they're great. And hopefully I will make more things and you will see them in them. Although they're quite in demand. They've done some quite cool stuff, so I want to be able to afford them.
Well, we will be here waiting to help in whatever way that we can.
Yeah, and sorry that I just like I began the whole thing just like ranting about indie film and TV, but I think like that's what's on my mind at the moment because it's been a long time since the show, but I love the show and I hope it does come back.
Well, it was on the list anyway. It was just, it flipped the script, but everything got done.
Interrupt me because I'll just keep rambling about film if you don't interrupt me.
No, we'll keep going. No, it's late there where you are.
Guys. It was a really like good end to my year to chat with you guys and catch up.
Yes, thank you so much for agreeing to this and celebrating the OCS 3-year anniversary.
And,
all these people,
any of you that are filmmakers, like, please, like, follow social media and stuff and reach out if you have questions and stuff. I do get back eventually. Someone messaged me about a month ago and I replied, I'm really sorry, I'm really busy, but I will get back to you. And I did get back to her like 3 days ago. Elise, I don't know if she's here.
Yeah, she's not here, but yeah, she told
she's
me.
Awesome, and she's gonna do a cool film thing now. Anyway, she's going off to do. Yeah, it's about work experience. So
yeah. So, and Julia and Leah both said hi. They couldn't be here today.
Yeah, I want you guys to make things. Go make things. It's tough, but do it. You can do it.
Yeah.
And if I end up on any fancy shows anytime soon, I will, always try and bring people in as interns.
Shoot your shot, Natalie.
No, I mean, I know which ones want to come. I got a small list.
Yeah, you do have a list.
No, but I would like if it's really hard. Like when Elise reached out, I was like, I'm not on any shows, so I can't recommend anything right now. And the industry like shifts and changes, and I'm like, I don't know who to tell you to talk to. I was like, it's when I'm on a show, I have the ability to be like, do we need an intern? You know what I mean? Or do we need a PA or anything really. So okay, all right. You guys should enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much for
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, thank you.
Anytime.
It's so great.
Thank
so
you,
great
Sarah.
to see everybody.
Thank you for having me, guys. I don't know how to leave, to be honest. That's what I'm saying. How do I leave?
Oh, before you leave,
I've got it. My chat's in the way. That's why. Okay.
people in our fandom have made some really incredible stuff. This is a halo that was gifted to me by somebody in our fandom, and it's a 3D printed one. And so there's so many amazing cool files and things that people have made that if you want something, since you didn't really get to have anything from the show, these files are available for free that people have made, and they're just incredible. Like I even have a little
you give
Warrior
me
Nun sword.
Anyway, I have the book.
It's
that
so
you
cool.
guys made with the fan art, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
And Adrian sent me the little figure.
The Ava pop?
Yeah. Mom's dining room table in full display, which my mom thinks is amazing. And anyone comes to the house, she's like, "Look at this. This is Warrior Nun."
That's incredible.
Can I show it?
But you know what I do love, and I'll be really honest, right? And I don't know if you guys know this. When I see the fan videos, I love it. I like, you know how you can pin videos on Instagram? I think I have my first 3 pins on Instagram on my work. One is Discovery of Witches, one is like a show reel, and the other one is a fan video made by a fan. I didn't make it. It's made by a Spanish girl, I think called Julia. I can't remember her name, but she's brilliant. And I told her that if it ever got a season 3, that I would come get her and bring her in. We never got a season 3. She made awesome fan videos.
Wait, was it Julia who did the interview with you?
No, she's a Spanish girl, and she's really low key and she's quiet.
Okay.
She worked as an editor in Spain. And she's very good. Like I've looked at her other work, like I've looked at her actual work. Because I was like, who are you? I was like, who are you and where are you? And why aren't you on the show? No, she's really good editor. But again, it's like it's such a hard industry and it's opportunity and even for Nikki, who is my editor, who's now on massive shows, like huge shows. But when I first tried to get her on Discovery of Witches, she hadn't done a lot. So they were like, oh, you know. And when she got that job and she did an amazing job, then she just went big shows. But it's kind of getting that break when you're not, you know, your CV is not that big. And I do think it's hard for women. It's changing, but it's hard. But yeah, when I love when like my feed will show me fan videos from shows that are not my shows. And I'm like, oh, what's this? This is cool. And then Warrior Nun will come up and I'll be like, oh God, that's mine. That's so cool. Like, and it's, I don't know, like I love seeing the fan video. I try to like them all and comment on them all.
I have a new fan edit that I'm about to drop soon. So
drop keep it, man. I will retweet. So yeah.
So I have my Ava pillow that I wanted to show y'all.
Oh, that's awesome.
That artist is H-Bomb, I think, 8, right? The one that does that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Their work's incredible.
They seriously, honestly.
Like the fact that you guys made friends and became like community and like people from all over the world became friends. It's cool.
It is. I knew no one.
There's even a couple who just got engaged who know each other through Warrior Nun. So
I know
there's a couple of people that have gotten together because of Warrior Nun.
It's so cool.
That's the only reason why I know world time zones now is because I've had to know where people are.
Yeah. Where is everyone? Like, just out of curiosity.
Texas, USA for me.
Okay, we got Texas.
Austria.
Rachel.
I'm from UK.
Australia.
Hang on, so Agnes, you're in the UK.
I'm in UK, Newcastle.
Where are you from, though?
I'm from Poland, but I live in UK.
I lived in Newcastle for a year.
Yeah.
I shot 2 shows in Newcastle. Very cool.
That's cool.
Hang on, I shot a really cool kids show called Wolf Blood.
Oh,
Do you know it?
I know it.
I shot Wolf Blood. I directed. I don't know if it's season 2. It's really fun. It's teenagers that it's wolves. I'm always doing supernatural stuff. I don't know why. Okay, so then
Rachel.
Your name is RKC. Is that Rachel?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, that's me.
You're Australia?
You're Australia? Yeah, yeah. It was like 5 a.m. when I got on this call. I was like, oh, yeah, okay.
What time is it now?
A more sensible time, like 7:30 a.m.
Okay, Rachel wins all of this today. She's the best. Yeah. Okay, is it Karoo? Where are you?
I'm from France.
Oh, you're in France. Cool.
Yeah.
Mina is French.
What?
You know that. Mina is French.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay, I've got Right Stumbly Veronica.
I'm from Austria.
Austria. Garby? Oh, Garby's muted. Where's Garby from? No one knows. And then I have lots of people without video.
I in Jersey.
From Jersey? Like Jersey, America? Like New Jersey?
Yeah, like New Jersey, America.
Ah, cool. That's so cool. You have the accent as well.
Thank
you. No, but it's cute. And okay, so where's Rosemary Dean from? Do you guys know everyone? Can you answer for them? Rosemary's not talking. Where's Fan? Is it Fan?
Fan's from Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Where's Janine? Jean?
British Columbia, I think.
Alexander?
I'm not from BC. I'm in Ontario, but I'm from Quebec.
So sorry.
I love it. I love this. Is what we're gonna say. All the wrong places people are from, so that they unmute and jump in.
Yeah,
especially the shy ones.
Speak now, forever hold your peace.
Yeah.
Where is Alexander Ty?
I think Mexico.
Oh, South America, good. We need that.
Right. Oh, yes, I'm from Mexico.
Mexico?
Yeah.
I've never been to Mexico. That's very cool.
What part of Mexico, though?
The center, and it's called Hidalgo.
There we go.
Yeah, I really respect how much the South Americans love Warrior Nun. Like they're big fans. Okay, is it Elena? Linnea? No. Linnea doesn't want to talk. Laura Fielding, where are you?
She said
from?
Malta in the chat.
Oh, Malta. Okay, cool. Oh, this chat.
I'm from Chicago.
Chicago. Okay, Diane Sedman. I know Diane follows me on Instagram.
We all probably follow you on Instagram.
All follow me on Instagram?
I think majority of the fandom follows you on Instagram.
I just post angsty things. Where are you from, Diane?
Diane's from Merseyside.
As in Liverpool?
Yeah.
Oh, a Brit. Okay, and my last person, because people have left because it's gone on so long. Patricia Y, where are you?
I'm from New York, and I do enjoy all your posts on Instagram.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I've discovered so much of cool creators through you too, so much appreciated.
By the way, guys, I discover stuff for you guys too. I just might not say it. And sometimes there's a lot of messages, but I do try to read them all. I think I read all of them. I just don't reply to all of them because I just have such a bad relationship with my phone where I'm on it too much and I'm trying to be on it less. I think we all are. But yeah, no, keep sending me recs, like cool shows. I'm into it. Okay, I'm gonna go now. It was so nice meeting you all.
Thank you
so much, Sarah.
It's great to see everybody.
Have a great holiday.
Happy holidays.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Good to see you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for
I can't
setting
believe
this up, Adrian.
we
You
got
smashed it.
3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Good luck with the editing.
I'm gonna volunteer someone to do that.
Yeah. Of course.
Make Fan do it since they gave you so much grief.
Just don't edit. Just don't edit. Just put it out like that. It's okay.
Oh, Jesus.
Maybe we will
3.5
see.
hours.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Thank you. I'm gonna end this now.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you guys.